About 15 seconds, 30 seconds.
Okay, Scott, when the music stops, you will be live.
Let's do it, baby. All right, here we are. Bob, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing well, doing well. Beautiful day here along the Wasatch Front here in Utah.
Oh, it's beautiful out
Great
there.
weather, a little overcast today, but it was perfect temperatures.
Great weekend too that we had, huh, buddy?
Oh yeah, it was gorgeous. My wife and I went for a nice little bike ride.
Nice.
Then the Jordan River Parkway down
Yeah.
there, and good atmosphere, good times, and good exercise.
Hey, I got up early Saturday morning. I went up to Jordanelle Reservoir, did me a little smallmouth bass fishing.
Oh,
So I
wow.
got a little color on my face, got a little burn on my bald spot back there today, buddy. Feeling good, feeling good. Don't look so good, but feeling good, my man.
I'm looking good.
Well, appreciate you lying to me. I appreciate it. Hey, we're here with the Coach Scott Field Show, hanging out with my buddy and friend, producer Bob Fitzgerald of Brave Haven Media. We're live from Brave Haven Studios once again here on beautiful Salt Lake City. Got a great show for you tonight. It is Draft Lottery Eve tonight, Bob.
Yeah.
So for all the NBA people out there, it is the day before some of the teams' fate and fortunes are at hand. The ping pong balls will be bouncing around tomorrow, Bob. The draft lottery is tomorrow night, Tuesday, the 20th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So that's 6 p.m. here Mountain Time. Exciting time. There are some teams out there hoping the ping pong balls bounce their way. They get good luck, and they can pick high and try to bring in some of this young talent to help their franchises and hopefully be the cornerstone of their futures.
Hey,
now there's-
I got a question on that. You know,
Talk to me.
the dropping of the ping pong ball. Where did that come from? Why doesn't the worst team get the first pick, regardless?
You know what? There had always been kind of a conspiracy theory that sometimes people thought that maybe it was a little bit rigged or something, or like maybe they used to draw like envelopes and they thought like maybe they to kind of fix it for the accountants to draw the names from an envelope, they would put one envelope in a freezer, so those envelopes would be colder, then they'd pick that one out, so that team would win. So they went with what they're going with the ping pong balls now. How about that for a little conspiracy stuff? But that's
Yeah.
what they say happened way back in the day. And of course, now there's conspiracy and rumors that back when the New York Knicks had a chance to win the lottery when they got Patrick Ewing, some people kind of threw it out there that that's what was going on. So
Oh,
now,
wow.
now it's the ping pong ball. But I'm sure they could put more weight in one ping pong ball. Because there's always ways to fix it. They're corrupt people.
Put helium in one so it floats to the
Yeah,
top.
exactly. Come on, man. There's always blah, 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 blah. But glad you asked that. I just gave you a little bit of history lesson there. Don't know if it's true or not, but it was rumored many years ago when Patrick Ewing was going to be the #1 pick coming out of Georgetown. Now we've got players like Jabari Parker from Duke. Outstanding player. Was only a freshman this year at Duke, Bob, but great physical tools, kind of like a LeBron James. Very versatile. Very athletic, big body, strong, gets to the basket. I would compare him more to a LeBron James. You got Andrew Wiggins out of Kansas, long, lanky, kind of like a Kevin Durant style type player. They don't have the skill sets of those two players, but if you just threw out a name as a comparison, because a lot of NBA people do that, they'll say, well, who's this game like? So those are just quick comparisons. Julius Randle of Kentucky is coming out after this year, after they got beat in the finals against Connecticut. You got Doug McDermott from Creighton. You've got gosh, the names go on. Aaron Gordon out of Arizona. The top foreign prospect this year, Bob, a name you need to kind of watch for out of Australia, Dante Exum. Pretty good little player. He's done some great things at like the 19 and under kind of tournaments with Nike and represented Australia and did an outstanding job. Look for his name to be the first international name to be picked in the NBA draft coming up. But draft lottery, here's how it works. The teams with the most ping pong balls and the biggest percentage of chances to win are the teams with the worst records. So your Milwaukee Bucks, who had the worst record in the league this year, they have a 25% chance to get the number one pick. Philadelphia 76ers have a 19% chance to get the highest pick. Orlando has a 15.6% chance. Utah has 10.4% chance. You got Boston with a 10.3% chance, and the Lakers at number 6 with the sixth worst record in the league at a 6.3% chance to get the number one pick. So teams will send representatives to New York tomorrow. There'll be the big draft, the lottery, the ping pong balls will go, and I'm sure some of those owners will bring their good luck charms, whether it's going to be a rabbit's foot or something that means something to them to try to get luck and get fate to try to get some of these top names. We went over some numbers last week about how many people have actually put in for the draft. I'll have to pull those papers out. I remember kind of chatting with you guys a little bit last week about those numbers. There's like over 70 kids that have put their name into the draft. And, of course, you've got 2 rounds of 30.
And those 70 kids were underclassmen,
yes,
correct? Not
yes.
Not the graduating
Exactly.
class.
That's
So
underclassmen alone. So a lot of people are putting their names in. So you got to look at what kind of representation they're getting. And speaking about representation, we've got another great agent on our show tonight. A personal friend of mine, Agent Larry Fox, will be on the show tonight. We'll be giving him a call to New York here in just a few minutes. Our second guest of the night is Pleasant Grove 5A runner-up, Matthew Conway. Great player, great person. He signed with UVU just a few weeks ago, so we want to wish him the best. Go down there with Coach Hunsaker. They're with the Wolverines at UVU. And then national championship coach, Salt Lake Community College head coach Todd Phillips is going to be on the Coach Scott Fields show tonight. He's also an AAU coach here like Everett. He coaches with the UBC team here, which was the Utah Basketball Club. So excited to have those guys come on. Poll question for tonight for our viewers out there following us on Twitter, whether it be Facebook, Instagram. I kind of put it out there earlier today. Hopefully some of you guys will kind of chime in and see what you guys think. Share your input with us. Poll question for tonight: who will go number 1 in the NBA draft? Now there's a lot of tangibles that go involved with it. Depend on what team gets the number 1 pick and what needs that they have. It could be by importance of position. Some people say, do you get the best player in the draft? Do you get the best player by position in the draft? I still think you can't go wrong with Jabari Parker. I know some people have them in mock drafts down at number 3, down at number 4. You got, like I said, Julius Randle from Kentucky. You got Jabari Parker, Andrew Wiggins, that Dante Exum. This last week in Chicago, they did the draft combine where they did the measurements, the height, the reaches, the quick sprints, the agility drills, the vertical leap. That kind of stuff was all going on. So all of anybody who's anybody in the NBA was in Chicago for that draft combine. So it is an exciting time. It's exciting, and there's a lot of other stuff going on tonight. Tonight, San Antonio Spurs, first they thought Tony Parker may not play, sore hamstring, against Oklahoma City. They lost their big man, the big center is not going to be playing for them, so that's going to hurt them. And see how Kendrick Perkins is going to have to step up and be a banker, because now they really don't have a shot blocker. So we'll have to kind of see the adjustments that those teams make. That game will be starting here pretty soon if it hasn't already. Big surprise yesterday. Some people are hitting me up with text. Can you believe the Indiana Pacers beat the champions Miami Heat yesterday in Game 1 in Indiana?
Yeah, I was kind of shocked when I saw the score. And,
yeah, a lot of people were.
Because Indiana's kind of been one of those teams lately that's been up and down.
Actually, more down than up. I mean,
right.
There's been a lot of controversy ever since the trade. The chemistry wasn't quite working but they looked. I mean, they had laser focus. They executed their plan. They were playing great pressure defense. So I don't know if maybe Miami took them a little bit soft, But I mean, you're in the Eastern Conference Final and you're away. You know, you think, okay, your job is to steal one game to win back home court advantage. The Pacers earned home court advantage by having the best record in the Eastern Conference. So maybe they got a little something going. Maybe did they awaken a sleeping giant, or do they really have the game plan prepared to knock off the champion Miami Heat? It's awful hard to win 3 championships in a row, back to back to back. I mean, you know, the Heat, they're not as young. You got people questioning, you know, Dwayne Wade and his knee. Does he really have the strength to go a 7-game series without missing a game? And, you know, Lance Stevenson saying, I'm going to attack him. I'm going to wear that knee down. And so, I mean, these players know each other well. They've been feeling each other out. So, round 1 of the chess match,
right?
Quick sprint in the marathon goes to the Indiana Pacers. So, congratulations to the Indiana Pacers. San Antonio and Oklahoma City going at it tonight. Also news, the Charlotte Bobcats changed their name back to the Charlotte Hornets.
I like that. I like the Hornets name better.
Yeah.
I just, the Bobcats just always sounded strange.
Just didn't fit for you?
No.
Well, so, you know, they were the Charlotte Hornets before. Then they moved out to they moved to another city. Then they came back. So, you know, that name's kind of been tossed around. But they are back now to the Charlotte Hornets, and excited for them. Also hearing rumors, a few weeks ago we had agent Bill Neff on here, and his agent who just won a national championship, Kevin Ollie, has been flirting around with some NBA jobs. I'm hearing, it's not 100% done yet, but he's about to sign a $3 million annual contract.
Wow.
$3 million a year extension with the national champion UConn Huskies. Congratulations to Coach Kevin Ollie. Did a great job with that group who beat Kentucky in the finals. You got to love that. You got to be happy for our former guest, Bill Neff, and his client.
Yep, absolutely. You know,
great people.
Yeah,
good things happen to good people, Bob.
You know, and it's so nice when good things do happen to good people.
Don't you love it?
It's just you watch shows and you always root for the good guy or the underdog or whatever it is. And in real life, it is nice when the nice guys and the good guys prevail.
Love it, love it. The good Lord has a plan. I believe that.
Yep.
I do believe that. Hey, quick update score: San Antonio Spurs 45, Oklahoma City 37. I'm telling you, those San Antonio Spurs, you don't coach experience. Okay, yeah, Tim Duncan's getting older. Tony Parker's getting a little bit older. He had the hamstring. Manu Ginobili, but their role players understand, and Popovich has his finger on the pulse. He makes all the right moves, all the right adjustments. He doesn't wear them out during the regular season. He rests them so they peak at the right time. And, of course, I know Serge Ibaka is injured for Oklahoma City, and that's going to hurt them. They're a little bit of a donut team with nothing in the middle, but them Spurs playing well, and I got to be honest with you, I'm really not surprised that they're ahead 45-37 right now.
Yeah, and you look at it, the Spurs have been there for such a long time. They've always been at the upper elite level in the NBA.
Class
year after
act
year.
Organization.
Yeah.
Scotty Layden, who was an assistant coach here with Jerry Sloan, now and a general manager out there with San Antonio. So we're happy for Scott and the success that he's having. Just a fun team to watch as far, from my perspective as a coach and a basketball purist. They keep spacing. They put the ball in the right people's hands. They make good decisions. They make the extra pass. They play good team defense. Just fun to watch because, you know, a lot of teams play a lot of ISO one-on-one basketball or two-man pick-and-roll basketball. Now, don't get me wrong. The Spurs will go to that when they need it, but they move the ball. They penetrate. They kick. They make the extra pass. They get the wide-open jumpers. The role players come in, and they knock down the shots, Bob. It's fun basketball to watch. So if the Miami Heat get it back, are we going to look at another Miami Heat San Antonio Spurs NBA Finals? I know last year the ratings were real high when those two teams went at it. If Miami can get back on track, we're going to have a rematch of last year because the Spurs, if you think about it, Game 6, Ray Allen hits the dagger three in the corner that put it into Game 7 and kind of stole the championship from the Spurs last year. And I think that's why they came back together, because they got a little chip on their shoulder. That was their focus and motivation. And now they're putting themselves in a position to maybe go back and reclaim that title. Yep. It's awesome.
Now, who do you think they would match up better up in the finals? Do you think they match up better with Miami or with the Pacers?
I don't think the Spurs are built that way, and I don't think they're like R.C. Buford and the management said, okay, we're putting a team to go again. I think they do what they do and they do it well. They're gonna play their game, they're gonna play their style, they're gonna roll the dice and say, let's go, and they'll make the adjustments that they need to make. Now, I will say this: I think the Indiana Pacers made their player personnel decisions to try to match up to compete with the Miami Heat. That team was built to beat the Miami Heat. But so was the Brooklyn Nets. The highest salary cap in all the NBA. The Russian owner came in and put out millions and millions of dollars, exceeded the salary cap to try to beat the Miami Heat. And, of course, they lost out to them last week. Yeah. You had Kevin Garnett. You had Paul Pierce. You had Darren Williams. You had Joe Johnson. You had Andre Kirilenko. They put a lot of money into that team, and it just didn't quite work out. Some people are saying, hey, Darren Williams was missing in action. They built the team around him, so there's pressure on him. Darren Williams was here with the Utah Jazz. Yeah. It's got to make these guys have some accountability, look at themselves in the mirror and say, okay, what can I do better to help my team advance?
Right.
Just put it out there.
Yep.
It is what it is.
Yeah, and I wasn't a Darren Williams fan.
Okay.
When he was here, I didn't like. I liked his style of play, but
Okay.
I didn't like his style.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Personality?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what it was.
You're not the only one that feels
something
that
just rubbed me wrong, and it didn't bother me a bit when he left. The way he left and the circumstances
that was sad.
Preceding that bothered me.
I get you're not the only person that feels that way.
Yeah.
You're not. You kind of hear that kind of rumbling and talk and kind of soft criticism throughout the valley. It's
right.
True.
And some of that sour grapes. We live here in Utah. The Utah Jazz are our team. Jerry Sloan has been an icon here.
The man.
And
what upsets me? How did Jerry Sloan, for all those years, not get Coach of the Year? Were the voters and the press, were they just so desensitized that we were so consistent for so many years and the expectations were so high that he never got the nod?
Yeah,
I don't get it. Jerry Sloan, at one of those years, I don't care if Michael Jordan did hit the shot that beat them in the championship out here, Jerry Sloan, the Hall of Fame coach, is so deserving
absolutely
of that Coach of the Year honor.
Yep, absolutely.
I kind of feel bad for that. And then you get guys who get Coach of the Year, and then next year they're fired.
Yeah, next
George
year they're
Karl,
fired or
Denver, Coach of the Year, fired. Other coaches get Coach of the Year, the next year, fired. Kind of crazy how that works. Like, you get Coach of the Year. You almost... Coaches joke they don't want to win Coach of the Year because they're going to get the ziggy.
Going to get terminated. Yeah. Oh, wait
they're
a second.
They're going to be unemployed. So
once you reach the pinnacle, the only way out is down.
Ooh-wee. I love this sport. I love what I do. Hey, let's go thank our sponsors real quick. Got talking about. Here it is, pre-draft lottery. It's the eve. The lottery's tomorrow night. Talk about some of the players. Gosh, it's going to be a fun show.
Yeah.
Going to have a fun show tonight.
Great show.
Got to thank our sponsors. Of course, so lucky to call this our home. Bravehaven Studios, Bravehaven Media, Bravehaven.com. My producer, my friend, Bob Fitzgerald, works feverishly around the clock, any extra hours he has. You've made this set first class. And I go home in the evenings and I'll kind of watch the show and see what I can do better, because I'm not a show host. I'm a coach, but I'm loving what I'm doing because I do believe in our mission as far as empowering coaches and players, educating coaches and players, and helping coaches and players and people of all walk of life grow with the quality of content that we provide, the resources that we provide, hearing the insightful experiences and journeys of our guests. And Bob, they've exceeded my expectations of what they brought to this show.
Mine also.
Every night in, night out. And again, tonight, Larry Fox, I know is going to bring some great insight. He's been an agent for many years. And matter of fact, he's actually the agent of Anthony Tolliver, who was on our show a couple weeks ago, that we actually helped promote the company Active Faith and ActiveFaith.com. I wore the short last week. I've actually got the bracelet on here again tonight. In Jesus' name I play. So Larry Fox, the agent of Anthony Tolliver, going to be on the show. Longtime friend of mine. But again, we got to thank Bravehaven Studios here and the job that you do, Bob. MetLife, Nick Fitzgerald, your financial advisor, please give Nick a call, 801-999-3773. Let him take care of all your financial planning needs. Let him set you up so you can live golden in your golden years, you know? And then Salon Dante, 94 South, 7th East. Get a hold of my wife, Kim Fields. She will flat out make you look right. I don't have hair where she can make me look right, but she does what she can with what she has to work with. But ladies, coaches, players, you guys, I know Mother's Day just passed, but if you want to do something nice and special for your loved one, coaches, if you're out there watching, if you live here in the Valley, give Salon Dante a call, 801-572-8812. Get a hold of Kim Fields. Tell them you heard it on the Coach Scott Fields Show, and get that quality cut. She does colors, cuts. She's awesome. I know she's my wife, but man, she does a great job. I mean, I've seen before and afters of some of the ladies that she's worked with, and then she does the hair extensions. Unbelievable. I think I need hair extensions. Let's just call it like it is. I need hair extensions.
Yeah,
so if you guys want to see hair extensions on the Coach Scott Fields Show,
I'll tell you what, I'll pay $20 to see that, Scott.
I'm going to come in here next week looking like I should be the lead singer of the 80s rock band Whitesnake. I'll be in here.
Oh, yeah, baby. Now we're talking.
So, yeah, Salon Dante. Give Kim Fields a call. Again, 801-572-8812. MetLife, Nick Fitzgerald, 801-999-3773. And again, Brave Haven Studios, bravehaven.com. Give Bob a call. Let him hook you up with these keepsake family treasures. Again, graduation seasons are coming. Wedding seasons are coming. Let him put together a quality video for your reception that they'll put some great music to, and it's something that you'll just treasure for a lifetime. 801-738-8697, bravehaven.com. Did I miss anything, Bob?
Nope.
I'm over here just rambling like crazy, spitting stuff out.
You haven't missed a thing. The only thing I would say is if you want to be a sponsor, give us a call at 801-738-8697, or you can contact us at bravehaven@mac.com. And we'd love to have you be a sponsor on the show. Sponsorship starts at a mere $20. A mere $20 can get you a spot on the Coach Scott Fields Show.
Right.
And we have more packages that include more, but a basic spot is $20. And we would love to promote your business.
Yeah.
And
use
help
us as a tool and a vehicle to market your brand, to promote what you do. We're all, think about it. We're all just trying to grow and become better. And if you see how we can use, or you can use us to promote your business, please give us a call. We'd be thrilled. This is a labor of love for both Bob and I, but we would be thrilled and humbled to have the opportunity to work with you to put a package together with advertisement, and we can even cater those packages to fit those companies' specific needs.
Oh,
correct?
absolutely.
You are first class at putting those kind of products together.
You know what?
Commercial shoots, whatever they need, huh?
Whether it's coupon promotion, or if they want a 30-second spot, or if they want a full minute spot, or if they just want to mention on the show, we're more than happy to work with them and help them out. And like you say, the theme of the show is empower, educate, and grow. And that fits in the grow thing. We nothing better for the local economy than to build the grassroots business that are local, to help. If they're successful, the community's a success. The
Amen.
community's success, then the
let us all help each other out,
success.
huh?
Yep.
Let me just ask this: if they donate to the show, or if they give sponsorship, is that a tax deductible write-off for them to be a part of the show? How does that work?
It's not a tax deduct. We're not a 501c3,
Okay.
even though we're not for profit. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But it's not a tax write-off at that point. It is a business expense. So from a business standpoint, they would get a tax credit.
Okay.
But as a donation or that it's not quite the same there.
See, I didn't even know, so I had to ask. Anyway, let's see if we can't get Larry Fox on the phone. I know we're trying to get a hold of him. They're a couple hours in front of us there. A quick update. Oklahoma City has cut in to the San Antonio's lead. It's now 48-58. It's in the second quarter. There's about 3 minutes and 20 seconds left. in the second quarter. So I'll be giving the score here to you periodically again. 58-48, San Antonio Spurs beating the Oklahoma City Thunder. That is your Western Conference Finals to get into the NBA championship. They will play the winner of the Eastern Conference Championship, which is the Indiana Pacers and the Miami Heat. So we're trying to get Larry Fox on the phone right now. Also want to give a quick shout out again to our other sponsor. It's TeamJMP.com. A former guest of ours, John Madsen, was here on our show, and he's kind of sponsored, and we're throwing a plug in for him when we do our prep section of the show tonight with Matthew Conway. So check out TeamJMP.com and let John get you right physically. My son's been working out up there for a few weeks now, and Bob, I gotta tell you, little Brandon Sly, he's starting to fill out. He's getting a little bit cut. He's feeling good about himself. His shoulders are rolled back, and he's getting some definition. John Madsen's doing a really good job with him. Really proud of that. So, it's just good stuff. Getting some text over here. Again, give us a call. Let us know who you think the number one player in the NBA draft will be. Again, draft lotteries tomorrow. Poll question, who will go number one in the NBA draft? Hit us up on Twitter. Hit us up on Facebook. Share your thoughts and opinions on who the number one player is going to be in this year's NBA draft. Okay? Hit us up. Let us know. Quick score again update, 63-51. Also, before we get Larry Fox on the phone, I also want to send a special congratulations out to Grundy and Lindsay. They had a baby boy this afternoon. I hear he's a big fella. Out there at Riverton Hospital here tonight. Congratulations, Lindy and Grundy. Can't wait to meet the new little fella. Excited to see this young man, welcome him to the world, and bless you both on a healthy young man. And excited because I know Kim will be running out there to the hospital to see him real soon. Tell you a little bit about Larry Fox, who's getting ready to be a guest on our show. Are we connected with him, Bob?
Not yet.
Okay, we're still making those connections. Again, he's out in New York right now. Anyway, I was checking a little message there from I think Larry's calling in right now, so we're going to get ready to go. I had a guy hit me up.
All right. We'll turn you over to Coach Scott. Take it away, Scott.
Larry Fox, my man.
Scott, how are you? Great to be with you.
Man, I am thrilled to have you on the Coach Scott Field Show, buddy. Are you in New York tonight?
Good old New York with our crazy weather and everything. How's Utah?
You know what? Utah's been nice today, buddy. Matter of fact, I got a little sun on my bald spot this weekend. It's been pretty pleasant. We've been in the low 80s.
Maybe I should get out there.
You need to come hang out, my man. But I know you got a lot of things going on.
It's been a couple of years. It's been a couple of years since I've seen you.
Matter of fact, Larry, you came out here and you were an integral part of the NBA charity event that was going on during the NBA lockout with that fundraiser that we had here. And what a marvelous job you did out there.
It really was a special night. We got together the two of the NBA players, one of my clients, Anthony Tolliver, and it just made sense. Why don't we get the players together for a good cause? And in addition to that, letting the fans see that the players actually cared and wanted to bring their product so that the fans can enjoy it despite their business issues. So it was really a special evening, and it was great to have you be part of it and coaching it.
Oh, it was a lot of fun. I appreciate the opportunity, but love having you on tonight. Hey, it's draft lottery eve. There's a lot of teams' fate, up in the air tonight, whether they're going to have the fortune or misfortune of the ping pong ball bouncing their way. And we kind of talked about some of those players. Last week in Chicago was the draft combine where they're getting measurements and testing agility, testing jumping and stuff like that. From an agent's perspective, I mean, you've been an agent for several years, Larry, and I know you've got to have some great stories, some wonderful experiences. From an agent's perspective, what does this time of year mean for a guy like yourself in the business?
It's really interesting, and if you have competitive juices, it really gets flowing this time of year. I mean, the key when you're representing somebody, whether he's listed somewhere in the draft or even, the fun of it is guys that, are maybe not considered draft picks, it's really trying to figure out who your client's competition is and designing a game plan and a strategy to get them seen, get them to compete against players that may be considered higher in the draft for them, and really painting a picture over a really short window of time. You're talking about probably less than 2 months that you work with someone before the actual draft occurs, to paint the picture to let every organization in the NBA not only find out who your guy is, you need to sell them, you need to explain to them why you're representing that player and why you think he's better and why you think he's a good fit for the NBA. So it brings out the competitive spirit. You know, a day like this, here we are on a Monday, you know, I must have made 25, 30 different calls to NBA teams alone today. And just because I do that today doesn't mean I'm not going to do it again tomorrow and next week. You know, having been in the business for about 23, 24 years now, I know so many people in the league, multiple people with each organization. You know, I'll speak to one person with a team one week, you know, maybe the GM, then next week maybe the assistant GM, then the next week maybe their player personnel director or director of scouting. But it's a lot of fun helping guys, you know, put themselves on the map.
Yeah, you know, Larry, like you said, we had one of your clients on our show just a couple weeks ago, Anthony Tolliver. Wow, what a great story and great journey that he's had, you know, being with the Charlotte team, the number 7 seed in the East, got to play against Miami in the first round. What a quality person and a great guy who, you know, plays undrafted. You worked your butt off with him. You guys have got a great relationship. Couldn't happen to two better people to see what's happening with Anthony Tolliver and, you know, your experience, you know, getting to represent a fine young man like him.
Yeah, you know, and I appreciate that. Thank you. And I'm still waiting for Anthony to send my 10% commission check for appearing on your show. But, you know, in all honesty, Anthony's a great picture, and it depicts what representing players can be, because it's not the same thing for everyone. I mean, let's face it, representing LeBron James, you know, or one of the major stars of the NBA is a completely different role as, say, you know, what Anthony Tolliver and I had to go through. You know, Anthony, very similar to guys I pick out every year, was a below-the-radar guy. He came out of Creighton, and, you know, his example shows you how different the player can be a few years later. Anthony Tolliver, Scott, his senior year at Creighton, was a low-block 5, maybe 4-man, never really stretched more than 10, 12 feet from the basket. His entire senior year, in like 30 or 32 games, attempted 10 3-point shots his entire senior year. So then he gets invited to go to the Portsmouth Invitational Tournament, and he showed the range, and he hit a few three-pointers, but it was a little bit awkward form. He was flat-footed. Now here we are 4 or 5 years later after a circuitous route to get to the NBA, you know, summer leagues, vets camps, overseas, NBDL, and now he's been an NBA veteran. It's his 5th year. But here's a guy who shot 10 three-pointers his senior year in college and redefines himself and is now the 10th leading three-point shooter in the NBA and shot, I think, somewhere close to 280 of them this year.
Yeah.
So, like I said, a player in college can be so much different, because I tell a lot of my clients this, you know, you have to respect that a college coach is going to implement and use you the best way to make that team better. Doesn't necessarily mean he's going to use you to make you better and the NBA, your NBA prospects better. And nothing against Coach Dana Altman, because he was a terrific coach for Anthony at Creighton. But like I said, Anthony is a completely different player, was below the radar when he came out in his draft, and here he is, a 5-year NBA vet who will be in the NBA probably for the rest of his career.
Great story, Larry. I love hearing, you know, the perseverance within his journey, you know, the positive steps that you guys, you know, created a plan and a path for him to, you know, promote his brand and his style. And it took a lot of hard work on both of your parts. Let's be honest. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that the players aren't aware of, and probably you don't want them or need them to know. You want them to focus on their game, working on their skill set, so that they're an asset to a franchise, and you do a fantastic job of doing that.
No, I appreciate that. You know, like I said, being an agent is of many different roles, but, you know, my motto is really this. I tell my clients, I only want you to focus on basketball, worry about waking up, eating right, doing your two-a-days, working on your game. When I get you feedback on what you need to work on that. I don't want them to worry about all the other things that go behind the scenes. But working for a guy like, you know, Anthony Tolliver in the draft, And versus, like we said about like a LeBron James type, I have to call every NBA team, all 30 teams, so many times, trying to get them into workouts, then trying to design a strategy to pinpoint certain guys I want them to work out against, calling friends in the media, calling friends with teams to find out when those guys are working out, designing a schedule, trying to get him those workouts, making sure he's not flying from L.A. on a Tuesday to go work out in Orlando on Wednesday to fly back to Denver on Thursday. You have to do it in a strategic manner, but it all works out. I'll give you a funny story about Anthony Tolliver's first season, which nobody realizes. We fought hard and got him a lot of workouts, and I tell my guys all the time, workout might not work out for the draft. It could work out later on. Anthony had so many good workouts, before the draft. When it turned out, when he signed for, a 2-year, almost $6 million contract with the Timberwolves, I think a lot of that was based upon they liked him during his interviews a few years earlier. And a lot of the teams he's played for always go back and say, we really liked him in his original interviews during the draft. So you never know when it's going to work out. But funny story, he went in with the Cleveland Cavaliers his rookie year. And made it actually through Veterans Camp after a good summer league. They signed him on a non-guaranteed contract. We didn't think he was going to make it. He was a bit of a long shot, but if you remember back to that year, Cleveland had a few holdouts. Anderson Varejao had not signed and didn't sign all throughout training camp. So when season broke, Anthony Tolliver was actually on the roster. First day of the season, Anderson Varejao technically decided, right then to sign, and they had to cut someone, and it was Anthony Tolliver. So here's a guy that worked his tail off to make the NBA, did it, got through the whole system, and on October 31st, I think it was, he thinks he's going to be in an opening day uniform, and he gets cut. But the NBA rule, and this actually worked out to his advantage, the NBA rule is you can't clear waivers for 48 hours. So even though he got cut and never really dressed in a Cavaliers uniform, he technically was on the Cavaliers opening day roster and lasted for 48 hours, never wearing their uniform. Back under the old NBA rules, as long as you were on an NBA roster for 1 day, it counted as a year of service towards your minimum contract. So the long and short is the following season when he signed in San Antonio, rather than signing for $480,000, because he was technically with the Cavaliers for those first 2 days, even though he never dressed, his salary his first year was somewhere around $850,000 as having 1 year of service in the NBA. So that 1 day earned him about an extra $400,000.
That's doing your job and your due diligence and knowing that and taking that to the next club. Great job on that. We had a poll question tonight, Larry. Not to really change gears, but the poll question to our viewers tonight. It's kind of put through social media and stuff, and I kind of spoke on it briefly. Who do you think will be the number one draft this year in the NBA draft? Now, again, the draft lottery's tomorrow night. The ping pong ball's got to fall. There's going to be variables. Which team will get the number one spot? Will they go on talent, or will they go with the best player at a certain position? But who do you think may be the number one pick in this year's NBA draft?
It's a tough question, and I certainly wasn't listening to your poll a little bit earlier, so I don't know exactly what you're talking about. It's going to depend a lot on the ping pong balls and what teams need. I mean, the top teams, I think, in the lottery are Milwaukee, Philly, Orlando. Yeah. If you end up with the first pick in the draft, like Philadelphia, for instance, they had the kid New Orleans Noel for Kentucky last year, who was their high pick, who was hurt the whole year. So if they ended up with the first pick, do I think that they're going to go big if they think Noel's going to be okay? My guess would be probably not. I mean, the top three guys in the draft are probably, in no particular order, Joel Embiid from Kansas. It's amazing that two Kansas kids are going at the top, and they didn't win it all. But Andrew Wiggins and Jabari Parker, those are probably the three that we're looking at right now. I think it's more of a beauty's in the eye of the beholder. If a team wins the lottery and needs to go big, and they don't need a scorer, but more of a team player who could rebound and block shots, the presence of Joel Embiid, even though he had the injury at the end of the season there and missed the tournament, I think at the end of the day, he's got a strong chance to be the first pick. But if a team doesn't want to go big, then Jabari Parker, Andrew Wiggins is probably the next best guess. I would take a shot with Wiggins myself. I don't think if I had the first pick, I'd pick Joel Embiid. I worry about the injury. I worry about his scoring ability. But again, his beauty is in the eye of the beholder. If you want a wing player, then you got to go with Wiggins or Parker. My number one guess is probably Andrew Wiggins. I really like him.
Wow. Okay. Love it. let me ask you this. As an agent who's been in the business for multiple years, what does Larry Fox look for in a player, a prospective player to sign and represent? What things stand out to you? Is it the character? Is it the skill set? Is it a combination of both? Is it the loyalty factor?
Well, I guess it's many factors go into that. I mean, obviously, from a business model, I have to understand myself in the business. I go back to the movie Jerry Maguire. Many people have seen the Jerry Maguire movie, but as a sole practitioner, I'm proud of the fact that I've been in this business for over 20 years. Not many people have had the longevity I've had, but as more of what I would say a sole practitioner and a smaller guy who's not with the major powerhouse agencies, I've learned, through my years that, I've competed, I've had, a first-round pick before in the draft, but it's a very competitive business, Scott. You know it as well as I do. And when you get down to it, a lot of the guys coming out in the draft, it's their first time going through this. It's their family's first time going through this. They don't understand the process, and I think they get caught like a deer in headlights sometimes, when a agent comes out with this huge client list, and he might be a great agent, but he could say, hey, I'm going to have this all-star call you and this all-star call you. Yeah. I think a lot of players get caught up in that, like, wow, I got to go with this agent. But, I mean, to me, my platform has always been, do you want to be a big fish in a smaller pond or a small fish in a big pond? And what I mean by that is, I'm just going to hypothetically use some random names, but, if I'm a young player coming out and I'm good, do I want to go with, say, LeBron's agent or, one of the top all-stars in the league, because I'm never going to be the big fish in that pond. Yeah. And if something happens to me or I fall in the draft or I get hurt, will I be working with that big agent who told me I was going to be a great superstar, or am I going to end up with an intern down the hall and I have to speak to him? So my platform, I've designed my game plan. I realize I'm not going to go after the top pick in the draft. What I try to do is find diamonds in the rough. What I try to do is find guys that maybe 2, 3, 4 years out of school realize their big agencies aren't working well for them, and they're looking for another agent who might speak to them on a regular basis. But I kind of pride myself in that movie, Jerry Maguire. Business 20 years, that knows everybody in the league, that is going to speak to them, answer their phones. You're never going to get anybody else. And a guy who's going to wake up every morning thinking about how to make their professional career better. So I kind of have to look from a business perspective. I can't go for a guy that's too good. I'll give you a secret. A couple of years ago, I loved this kid at Weber State out in your area, and I'm like, my God, I'm going to get on this kid. No one's going to realize who he is. He's going to be my sleeper. And before you knew it, Damian Lillard over at Weber State became a household name and got too good that then he was so good at the high end of the draft boards that all the major agencies were going for him. So my sleeper that I thought maybe I could find his way into the NBA that I really liked just became somebody that everybody was playing for. So I look for that diamond in the rough, and then the key, Scott, that I look for when I speak to a kid and his family, I want to know that they have the proper perspective. I want to know that it's a good kid, but I also want to know it's a kid that understands himself. I know where guys generally rate in a draft and where I think their careers are going. I could be wrong sometimes, but I think I have a good sense for it. If I speak to a kid and I think he's an early second-rounder, mid-second-rounder, or maybe undrafted, and I get on with his family and they're telling me they think he's a lottery pick, it's probably a player I don't want to work with, because I know that it will never live up to their expectations and it's just doomed for failure.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I know you used to do mock drafts. And your mock drafts were pretty pinpoint, and you would have teams call you in regards to your mock drafts. Share that story with our viewers about, your mock drafts.
As a hobby, it's interesting. As an agent, you speak to so many people in the business. And then when I was first in the business in the 90s, I got to know a lot of the guys. And I knew I still do to this day, but I knew my college basketball inside and out. And I would just, I would see that there are a few so-called experts out there that would put together these mock drafts. But when you speak, like I said before, like to NBA people every day for 3 months, and you might speak to 3 or 4 different people in each organization, by the time the draft is rolling around, you have a good idea what teams are looking for, what names are in play, what names are moving up. So I got in the habit of just, I became friendly with a lot of guys in the NBA in the 90s, and I put out my mock draft. It gained so much popularity that one year I was so accurate that people would be calling me like in March and April of the next year. I mean, these are literally general managers would be calling me like, hey, did you do your mock draft yet? and I kept doing it, and it was very time-consuming, but it also developed better relationships I had with teams, but I still get chokes to this day. I remember Jan Mahinmi got picked, I think was number 28 by San Antonio a few years ago. Most people had never even heard of Jan Mahinmi, and I still get people in front offices making the joke like, how did you know Jan Mahinmi was going in the first round to San Antonio, when most people had never heard of him, and I've never divulged my sources and where I got the info. But it's also flattering. I've had GMs actually call me in the middle of the draft from the war room, sitting there, and I swear on this to this day, I won't say which team. I've had two teams call me with their GMs, but have asked me if they needed to trade up to get certain guys from the war room in the middle of the draft based upon what I was hearing. And there are two teams, and one in particular, based upon what I shared with them, they actually made a trade and moved up, and we joke about it. But like I said, the reporters get only certain information, Scott.
Yeah.
But when you're on the phone every day with general managers and assistant GMs, and you know what they're looking for, and you know what they're jockeying for position and where they want to move and get, I think sometimes someone like myself is in a better position to tell people who's going to get drafted than the people that write for the newspapers.
Well, I believe it, and I'm going to share this story with the viewers. Yes, you do your due diligence. You cross your T's, you dot your I's, you put in the groundwork and grind. You've earned that respect and credibility with these teams and these franchises. And I know I've been in positions multiple times overseas, and I was looking for players, and I'd say, hey, Larry, this is my needs. This is what I need to make this team go, and this fits. And you would always recommend somebody that would fit our teams and help us be successful, which makes us look good because now we're continuing to win in a European market or in an Asian market. But even this, and this is to your character, you've also recommended players too who maybe you didn't have, but you said, Scott, I don't have, a 6'7" wing because all my guys are signed, but you should look at this guy. And there's not a lot of people in this business, Larry, that would extend themselves and help other players and other agents when they didn't give you a dime. But again, that's a testament to your character and your credibility. I've appreciated it, and you're professional, you're precise, you don't fluff things, you're very honest. And in a business like this that's so saturated with money-hungry greed, it's refreshing to know that there's people like yourself out there who are in it for the right reasons, and that's for your clients.
I appreciate the kind words. It's touching. It's good to know you're appreciated. But, I live my life by certain creeds. I believe in good karma and doing the right thing. And, I have a lot of friends in the business. I mean, you and I go way back and have been friends for a while. I don't do it really with, any thoughts that there'll be anything at the end of the tunnel for me. But I do truly believe when you help people, you help friends. If a coach is calling and says, hey, I need a player, I'm going to be dead honest with them. If I could help them, I'm going to help them because I know if they're a friend of mine, they're going to do the same for me. So I would never even think twice.
Yeah.
But that's what this business is really all about. It's about relationships. I mean, I'll tell you the good thing. I pride myself on it, and even to this day, I had a few good conversations today. I'm working with two players that are not on draft boards right now, but I mean, it's touching, and it really makes me feel good about myself and my career in this business. When I call up teams right now and I say, hey, listen, I'm picking two guys out this year in this year's draft that I really believe are sleepers, kind of like the Anthony Tolliver story.
Yeah.
And I'm really touched because a lot of teams say, something, Larry, I'm not familiar or that familiar with the guy, but heck, you've been in this business for 20-some-odd years. You've always been a straight shooter. You've always been accurate with your mock drafts and everything. If you're representing him, I need to go do homework on him. Let me have a couple days. I'm going to break film down on him, get back to you. And I've already been able to secure a few workouts for the guys, but teams know that if I'm looking at a guy, I'm not just randomly signing someone. I'm doing it with a purpose and also because I see something, and it's good to know a lot of the teams and GMs respect that, and that helps the guys that I'm representing get workouts they might not normally get.
100%. Hey, I'm even going to share a story with you, Larry, that maybe even you forgot. Clear back in 1992, I was the assistant athletic director and the associate head coach at Chaminade University. 1992.
Oh, wow. This is ringing a bell now that you're bringing this up, but go on.
You had I actually picked up the phone, and you were just helping a young man out who you weren't getting a penny for it, 6'8", Octavian Ingram.
Oh my God! When you just brought this up, Scott, I honestly didn't remember that this is a connection you and I had. But when you started going there, I'm like, oh my God, I did have this conversation with you 22 years ago.
Unbelievable. We sat there, and between you and I, and me going to the administration and to the people in the admissions, we fought to get that kid academically eligible because they kept saying no, he was below the certain GPA. You and I, we continued to get transcripts. We hustled. We got the kid accepted. You and I proved that the young man was academically eligible. The kid comes out, signs for us at Chaminade University, and what a great kid. And everything that you said about that young man was spot on. So 1992 is how far back your and I's relationship
Was it really that, man, you're making me feel old. But yeah, I honestly, in all my endeavors with you over the years, Scott, I don't think we've ever revisited that story when you started to bring it up today. I started to come together. I forgot about that.
Oh.
But, here's the story. The small and short of it is, again, in that Jerry Maguire theme, I try to do anything to help my clients. My introduction to that kid, Octavian Ingram, was through my client, Ben Davis. Ben Davis was drafted by the Phoenix Suns, played, give or take here and there for 4 or 5 years in the NBA, and had a good season, a good career overseas. Actually, he's actually getting back into coaching. I can't mention it right now, but he's actually going to be joining an NAIA school in the next week as an assistant coach, which I'm very proud of him. But that was his best friend. That was his best friend growing up. And when a client of mine calls me up and says, "Hey, I've got my best friend. Can you help him out?" That's the type of relationships I establish with my clients. I'm there for them, and that's how the Octavian Ingram story grew. So great memory. I totally had forgotten that.
Hey, now, we've got some other good stories, too, but being out at the NBA Summer League when you had just had a knee surgery, you're hobbling around on crutches, you got the big splint on. I seen you coming out of the Cox Pavilion. I'm driving a little convertible. I'm like, Larry, get in this car and jump in. Let me take you to your hotel. Because you were being, matter of fact, I think one of the organizers might have not have been too fair with you at the time, but we had some great
I don't know if we want to get into details there, but one of the rival agents who was helping run the summer league didn't like the fact that because I just had knee surgery that I was on the players' elevator, and we had a little verbal altercation. We'll choose the word, but you know me, I'm not going to swallow my words in person when you were there, when you witnessed it. But we've gone way back and had some great stories. But it's fun, and developing relationships like that you and I have had over the years, going back to that many years. I can't believe how many years ago that was. It's just the special relationships are what make this industry and doing this business a lot of fun.
Well, I know this, Larry. I'm a better person for our relationship. I'm definitely a better coach because, great players make great coaches out of us in a hurry. And we didn't accumulate a near 800 win percentage by having players that couldn't get it done with their skill sets, and having recommendations and working with agents like yourself. That definitely helped me establish myself in my niche as we had our success overseas. And I've got to thank you publicly, for all the recommendations and help that you've given me along my career. And there's even been times, let's just be honest, you've picked up the phone and said, "Hey, Scott, by the way, this country over here is looking for a coach. You may want to get your stuff out." And I've always appreciated those little leads. And I thank the world of you, buddy. You're outstanding. And I know you and I will continue to cross paths and work together in many facets, as we continue to progress, my man.
No, I appreciate the kind words, Scott. That's what friendship is all about. It's never worrying about anything other than, hey, if a friend wants help or needs help and you could help them, you do it. But I will challenge you. Someday I do hope I get the pleasure of coaching against you, because I want you to know a little-known fact that during the 1999 lockout, when they didn't have Summer League at the last second, they still had the Summer League, but the NBA couldn't participate. So a lot of agents had to put together teams at the last second, and I brought a bunch of my guys. I had Ben Davis, who we spoke about earlier, and Mikey Moore. I had Shea Seals. I actually had Pat Garrity, Anthony Mason on my team. I went out there and coached my own team, and nobody thought we were going to do well because there were some star-studded teams, and our team didn't have the loaded stars. But we went 7-0 during the regular season during Summer League and made it to the championships against the Harlem Globetrotters-sponsored team, which was loaded with NBA guys. We lost in the finals, but I'm 7-1 at 87.5% winning percentage. I think I might be slightly ahead of your 80%, so I want to go head-to-head one day.
You got me on that. I got to swallow some humble pie. You're my man.
Scott, it's always a pleasure, and I do enjoy our friendship. You've been a great guy, and you certainly have had a great coaching record. I don't know if there's really anybody overseas that could come close to matching what you've done. So hopefully something comes soon and gets you to where you need to be, because you need to be out there drawing up the X's and O's.
Well, I appreciate your kind words. Thank the world of you. If you could leave our viewers with one nugget, what would that nugget be? Whether it be about them perseverance or their character, what could you share with other players, coaches, general managers who are watching this show right now globally? What can Larry Fox share with our viewers?
Geez, I guess a tough one, but I mean, I guess it's with anything else in life. You know, you have to truly believe in yourself. You know, never listen to anybody else say that you can't make it. I mean, we all know the Michael Jordan story when you get down to it, that he got cut from his high school basketball team, and he could have given up right at that point. But, you know, what did he do? He used a setback and an obstacle in his life as fuel to add to the fire and just make that passion burn more. So when you get down to it, whether you want to be a basketball player and someone says you're not good enough, or if you want to be, you know, a teacher and someone says, you know, you'll never be a teacher, whatever it is, you know, you can't just worry about what other people think about you. You got to worry about, number one, what you think about yourself, and number two, what you could do to make your goals happen, because no one's going to be out there trying to do it for you. If you're not true to yourself, if you don't give it 100% and live for what your dreams are and put your passion towards it, you're never going to fulfill your goals. And the worst thing about it is people, I've seen too many people, especially in this business, Scott, that they get to that age is like where they're in their mid-30s and they're like, gee, I should have, I could have, I wish I had done this differently, I wish I had tried, I wish I had worked out harder during the summers, I wish I had worked on my body, and then it's too late for them to live out their dreams. So, like I say, it's being sincere to your own visions, to yourself, to your dreams, but if you're really pursuing something, you got to give it 110%. If you don't, then you're going to have anything but regrets in your life, looking backwards, saying, I should have, I could have, I would have, and you don't want to do that. So like I said, don't listen to what other people say. Be true to yourself and just put in 110% to live out your dreams and make things happen that you want to happen.
Well, eloquently put, my man. I can't even top that one off. I love the way you addressed it. Again, I appreciate your friendship. Thank you for taking the time from your personal schedule late this evening out in New York to come be a part of the show. I can't wait to cross paths with you here real soon, my man.
Thanks for having me on. I hope to get to see you out in Vegas in its Summer League this summer, and anytime you need me, always happy to pop on and say hi.
You got it, my man. Listen, take care of yourself. God bless, and we'll see you soon. Thanks again, buddy.
All right, take care, Scott. Have a good one.
You bet. Well, Bob, let's get ready to have a quick break, and we're going to have Matt Conway on the show. He has just signed with UVU. Nice player, played out at Pleasant Grove, 5A runner-up for the state championship. We'll get Matt on the show, and we'll see you right after we pay the bills. We are back with the Coach Scott Fields Show, live from Brave Haven Studios. It is May 19th, Monday, Draft Lottery Eve. NBA Draft Lottery tomorrow. NBA teams waiting to see which way the ping pong ball goes. I know you're a big Dirk fan, all right? You hope the Mavs get a good pick this year?
That's right, yeah.
Well, love having you be on the show. Big fan of yours. Got to work with you last year. Let's introduce you to not only the local crowd, but the national crowd and international crowd. Tell the viewers a little bit about yourself, how you moved to Salt Lake from Arizona. Your dad played at Utah State. Mm-hmm. You were a 5A state runner-up, got beat to a real good Lone Peak team in the state finals, but you had an outstanding senior year.
Well, thank
It
you,
was
yeah.
fun watching you after working with you last summer. You were so close to winning that state championship. You've recently just signed with UVU. You're going to go down there with Coach Dick Hunsaker
Yep.
with the Wolverines.
Yep.
They got to be thrilled to have you. Going to be wearing the green.
That's right.
All right. Well, tell the viewers a little bit about Matt. Tell them about, you've got a mission coming up. Tell them about how great of a student you are, because I don't want to misrepresent you. I've got love and respect for you, but I mean, your ACT test scores, off the hook. Ivy League schools recruiting you. A lot of schools had interest in you. You choose UVU. Share with the viewers about that journey. What was that like?
Yeah, so we moved to Utah, a year and a half, a little bit over that. And just to be close to family and stuff, but I don't know, I kind of wanted to change, just new environment, just see how it's like up here, I guess. But right when I moved to Pleasant Grove, everyone was just so nice to me, just felt right at home. And my junior year, averaged 14 points a game, just solid high school year. Then senior year, almost 23, so it was a pretty fun year and stuff. But
Yeah.
too bad we couldn't get Lone Peak the second time around. Well, we got him the second time around. Too bad we couldn't get him in the
You
championship.
got him the first time when you played him this year, right?
The second
Big
time we
win,
played,
second
yeah.
time. Okay, right.
Yeah.
Good win, because that's a great team.
Yeah, 6
Nationally
points.
ranked. I mean, great talent, well coached. You guys had a great game plan. I think you snuck them. You kind of like Indiana beating Miami. You kind of woke in a sleeping giant. A great team, but you guys made a great run. Your coach was, got a Coach of the Year award this year. I think a lot of that is the success that you brought to the team. I mean, you're versatile. You can play with your back to the basket. You run the floor well. You step out, shoot the three. You're so humble. You won't say it, so let me say it. I think that your success and your skill set helped catapult that Pleasant Grove team to get to that state championship game at the 5A level.
Well, thank you.
So tell us a little bit about, you've got great grades, great academics, you're a great person. What was your ACT score?
I got a 26 on the ACT. Honestly, I don't need to take it in because I've already signed, but I kind of want to just to.
Yeah.
I feel like I could do a little better, but
What?
but it's all right though. Like my older brother got 28 and stuff, so I'm trying to beat him. But oh well. I mean, I'll be fine with the 26. But
Not bad, not bad.
Yeah.
Well, nice. Well, you did. You had interest from different schools. You've had opportunities. What was that recruiting process like for you? Coming here, changing schools, new environment, new city, new team. Were you apprehensive? I got to coach you with AAU with Earl Bailey's group. Had a great experience working with you. We've had some success. What was that process like for you coming from Arizona and being here, being thrust in that recruiting process?
yeah, so in Arizona, I wasn't really recruited that much just because, for different reasons. But I didn't play much varsity ball in Arizona, so coming
Okay.
up here, and then right as soon as I got here, starting varsity, I think I was kind of just a new fish in the recruiting pool around here. And
So a lot of people didn't know who
Yeah,
you
a
were.
lot of
You had to
yeah,
build awareness
I had
for
to try
you.
to put myself out there a little
Yeah,
bit because
yeah, good for you.
because no one had really heard of me, rightfully so. But so I think had a few big games my junior year, kind of got my name a little bit out there, and then summer ball with playing with Dream Vision, you guys definitely helped, and then senior year just had a great year and ended up signing with UVU, so I'm really excited for that.
I am thrilled for you. I was able to kind of sit back behind the scenes. Several schools would call me with interest in you. I'd kind of keep you and your family abreast. Your mom said that she wanted to do a surprise for you for your birthday. I think it was your birthday was coming up. The Mavericks were coming in town. I was like, hey, I've got a friend who's with the Dallas Mavericks staff. I know you idolize Dirk. We were able to get you to meet with Coach Monty after the game. I'm sure that had to be fun for you to watch and learn and grow.
Oh, yeah.
Watch up close your favorite player in the league, which is Dirk.
Oh, for sure, Dirk's the best. I mean, but yeah, it was real fun. We had I don't know, we were 20 or so rows up, so not as close you can be, but pretty close. You can get a pretty good feel of the game. And I mean, there's Dirk out there doing what he does best, put up like 31 points. So
Hey, there you go. It's fun to watch, isn't it?
when he starts going, I'm surprised it wasn't 50 or 60. But yeah, Dirk was going off. I was having a good time, and then yeah, it was really cool after we talked to him. And he was telling me about how Dirk's just a class act and stuff, and how all during the playoffs, he gives all of the money he earns in the playoffs to people in the organization. Just how
Awesome.
how he's not one of those players that just parties. Like he's like the real idol, I guess.
Gotta
like,
love
for-
that, huh?
yeah.
Great role model, great
Yeah.
person. I actually coached in Germany several years ago, prior to him actually coming to the league, and he had a sister. You don't know this, but she's like 6'4" who
Oh.
plays for the Würzburg team.
I actually do know that.
Oh.
I do research her quite a bit.
So you really
in
get-
fact, I
okay.
do know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is her name? I can't remember if it's mom or sister. One of them named like Helen, I think.
I think you're right. I
Yeah.
forget the name. It slips me. I'm not prepared for that. But
Oh, sorry about that.
I got to watch her play
Yeah.
when my team from Ulm went up there and we played in Würzburg. And the girls were playing before us. And I was watching this 6'4" girl just put on a show. I mean, she was
Yeah.
Minnie Dirk in that women's Bundesliga over there, and fun to watch. So great family. And I'm glad you've got a great role model to emulate. Let me ask you this. If there's Matt fans out there, what words of advice would you give a young player who's maybe a 7th or 8th grader getting ready to go into Pleasant Grove or to another high school here locally? What words of advice would you give that young player as they're trying to pursue and live their dreams?
I mean, it's pretty generic, but I would just say outwork your competition because
Like it.
there's always someone out there working harder than you. Because I
Yeah.
mean, me for a white guy, I have like almost a 33-inch vertical, so I can jump high, sorta. I guess you could say.
Sorta. I watched you bang on Riverton High School this year a few times on those alley-oop dunks.
I got that poster in my room right now. Actually, poor kid, but
Yeah.
yeah. So
I love it. I love
so
it.
yeah. So I could jump high for some people, but like, I mean, you just gotta outwork because someone else is in the gym doing squats and no one likes leg day. So
Yeah.
you just gotta outwork your competition. Always believe that you can do it because I know a lot of people that just don't have the confidence, and it's like I've seen them play like
Yeah.
just playing like on like at the like not school ball and stuff, but just like at the rec or something like that. Like they could.
DeAndre Jordan was over in the corner. Johnny Dawkins was watching the game. What was that like to win a game in overtime with only 3 players on the floor, executing the game plan, not getting shook, showing poise, winning a championship like that?
Well, I just remember the last play of regulation was Sunday got dunked on. So like as soon as that happened, and then we only had like 4, I was like, oh no, like I don't know how this is gonna happen. Then we get into overtime and we lose one more. I think it was
Zach missed a free throw with, I think, 41 seconds to go in the game.
Yeah, and then somehow
So we're down to 3
so we
there.
got down to 3 players,
Yeah.
and like I don't know, like at that point I was like, oh man, like I
can
don't know how this is gonna happen. Then we got the timeout, and
Yep.
you come over and you're like, we're about to be living legends or something like that,
Yep.
and
Yep.
I was like, let's go. Like I don't know, I was getting pumped up for that, and I was like, we just gotta pull this thing off.
I can remember we called the timeout, and I did it purposely because I saw in our body language we were a little bit shook. And
Oh, yeah.
you guys were sitting right there in front of me, and I said, guys, we're about to do something that no one's going to believe, but everybody in here down deep wants to see something special. And I said, you guys are going to do something special. I said, Sunday, you're going to take this guy one-on-one, deny him from the ball everywhere.
Yeah.
And I said, Cooper, you're going to be down low. And I said, Matt, you're going to be down low on this right side. And we stopped them 2 possessions from scoring with only 3 players on the floor.
Right.
Their coach was yelling and screaming. The team imploded. We got the rebounds. We got fouled. We made the free throws.
Yep.
Ended up winning the game. And we walked off that court like a movie script.
Right.
Everybody patting us on the back saying, wow, that team from Utah just won the championship. They had 3 players on the court. What a special feeling that
Oh,
was
yeah.
to pull that off. It'll be something that I'm always going to
Hey,
remember.
that was a fun one. Yeah, that was one of the funnest. Yeah, that was a special one for sure.
Well, let me ask you this. We got to work together for a few months in the summer. I try to give as much knowledge, much experience, and try to help you guys with growth and development. But what's one specific thing that you can remember that maybe you've learned from me from my few months of working with you as a coach in the off season to prepare you for your senior year?
I remember my junior year, I just barely come from Arizona, and like we just moved, so like I hadn't played for probably 2 months. I was out of shape. Like
Okay.
I remember just missing shots left and right that I was just confused as to why I was missing them. But then, so I lost a little confidence in my shot and stuff. Then I remember during the summer, like you're a big positive guy, so like I would get out there and shoot shots that, hey, like I don't even know if I'd normally take them, but they were going in. So
You played well, and for me, it was fun to watch your confidence grow after each game. I can remember playing against Devin Harris's team, and they had a very athletic team, and they were tough, and that was actually the semifinals of another tournament. And I remember the game that you had. I mean, you were rebounding, you were a double-double guy, you were knocking down shots, you were finishing inside. Ryan got, our 7-footer got a little bit of foul trouble. You had to go down and slip and play a 5, which, I was even more comfortable putting you at a 3 where you could face up, take people off the dribble, or put your back to the basket on an ISO for mismatch. But it's truly fun to watch your confidence grow, see where you're at now, and all the credit goes to you because you were such a hard worker. You were very coachable, and I know the sky is going to be the limit for you, with your career in basketball at UVU. But let's share with the viewers real quick. You're getting ready to go on a mission. Do you know where you're going on your mission at?
yeah, so I'm going on a LDS mission, and I'm going to Resistencia, Argentina.
Nice.
So the top right, so it'd be a northeast corner,
Okay.
next to Iguazu Falls,
Okay.
one of the 7 wonders of the world, and really poor, really hot, and I'm excited.
How much Spanish do you know?
Enough that if I got stranded, I could possibly survive.
There you go. Well,
But,
good for you.
Yeah, so I leave June 4th, so 16 days. So
Oh, wow.
Right
So
around the corner.
Wow. You know what? I'm super excited for you. I'm glad that you're going to, serve your mission. You're going to be able to reach out and, provide service, for a country. You're such a great person that, you're going to stand and live by your values. But I'm super excited to see what you do even beyond your basketball years because you're such a good person that I know whatever walk of life you choose that you're going to be a success in. And it's fun for me to sit back as a former coach to say, wow, I enjoyed working with that young man.
Thank you.
Well, it's been a pleasure having you. Thank you so much for taking time from your personal schedule tonight to be on the Coach Scott Field Show. How can people, follow you or maybe get in contact with you? I know you've got a Twitter. What is your Twitter handle? How can fans or people that are UVU fans that say, hey, Matt Conway's going to, come to our school? How can they follow you?
My Twitter is slim_Conway, Conway.
Slim_Conway.
Yep.
There you go. Fans, get on there. Follow this great person. He's going to look good in that green, and he's going to help Coach Hunsaker win a lot of basketball games in the coming years. But first, serve that mission. Do what you believe in, and God bless you, buddy. And I know it's going to be great.
Thank you, Coach.
Really appreciate you coming on the show.
Yep,
All
thank
right,
you.
buddy. Hey, we're going to go back and have another quick break before we have national championship coach Todd Phillips from Salt Lake Community College right here on the Coach Scott Field Show right here out of Brave Haven Studios. Matt, again, love you, buddy. Proud of you.
You too, Coach.
We will come back and see you soon here in about a minute. Hey, baby. Live from Brave Haven Studios, the Coach Scott Field Show. It's a pleasure and an honor to have JUCO National Championship coach Todd Phillips from Salt Lake Community College on the Coach Scott Field Show. Coach, welcome to the show. Glad you could take time from your busy schedule. I know there's a lot of things going on. You're busy with the AAU. You coach the 17U team with UBC, Utah Basketball Club. So I hope UBC, a lot of the players and families are out there watching. And gosh, thanks for coming on, my man.
No, I appreciate it. Appreciate you having me.
It's a busy time of the year for you.
It seems like all years busy. I don't know when it slows down.
Hey, you gotta love the grind, right?
They do.
And
I do.
that's why you're successful at what you do. You're passionate about what you do. You're great with your players. You've got a great program, nationally ranked program. You've won the championship. Share with our viewers. I mean, not only locally, Coach, but we also have a national viewership and an international viewership, and we're blessed and fortunate. But share with other coaches who are watching the show, because this show is all about empowering coaches, giving them the content, giving them the resources. We get to have someone like yourself come on live who's won a national championship. Share with the viewers what it takes with that annual grind to have the right players that fit the right philosophy, that have the certain skill set, that are the quality people that represents your institution the way that you're going to run your program.
That's a lot. That's a lot right there.
Yeah.
No, I think, you got to me, as I've learned from other coaches, you got to be true to yourself. You got to, who you are, you got to get players that fit that. And I think over the years, as I've developed into the coaching style I have, I try to get players who fit that.
Yeah.
Guys who maybe not all are superstars, but are pretty good players, and try to mesh those guys. And at junior college especially, it's all about meshing players. You can have the most talent in the world, but you got guys for 1 year, sometimes 2, and trying to get those guys to play together and buying in.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I think I've made a living out of beating teams that are more talented that don't play together.
Right.
And in Utah especially, you can get kids to play together, and from AAU all the way up to the D1s here in the state.
Yeah.
That's kind of been our MO.
Right. So when you're out on the recruiting or on the trail, thank goodness you have AAU where you're working with kids, you're developing kids, you're allowing them to gain confidence going into their senior years, just like Matt, who was just with us. You're out there, but you're also observing and trying to find players that fit your philosophy here for Salt Lake Community College. What are you looking for? What are the tangibles that fits the philosophy of championship coach Todd Phillips and Salt Lake Community College?
Well, we wanted Matt. Utah Valley stole Matt from us. No, he was coming.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is you have to have players. I mean, and what is defined in that player is, we look for speed and athleticism. Mm-hmm. Those are 2 big key components. Mm-hmm. And then once we meet that and say, hey, that kid can play at this level, play at the college level, then it's okay, what type of character does he have? Is he coachable? Where's his skill set at? And we get, at our place, to be honest, we get a lot of different kids. We get kids that have the natural skill set that maybe aren't as athletic and natural, and so they're not getting recruited by some D1s. And then we get kids who are athletic and jump through the roof, but their skill set as far as their skill level is maybe lacking.
Gotcha.
And then I think the big thing we do, like everybody, is we're always trying to recruit above our level.
Mm-hmm.
We're not trying to recruit kids that aren't good enough to play Division I. We're on kids that are recruited Division I, and there's a reason why they're not there. Mm-hmm. Maybe they slip through the cracks. Maybe they need to work on their jumper. Maybe, they're not quite as big as they need to be at that size. Mm-hmm. And those are the types of kids we're looking for and grabbing. Mm-hmm. And then we also get a lot of Division I kickbacks. In today's college game, kids are moving schools like that.
Yeah.
And so we have our nets out. My old coach, Norm Parrish, said, you always have your nets out. We got our nets trying to catch those big fish that are moving around.
Right. I think it's a great point. We gave some numbers on last week's show. It was unbelievable, but there were 597 Division I transfers last year alone. 597, and I was talking with Bob. I'm like, that is amazing that there's that many kids that were either disillusioned or didn't have the skill set or took bad advice or just made a poor choice with their college choice, whether they didn't fit with the institution or they didn't fit with the program or for whatever reason, it just didn't work.
Right.
But when you look at those numbers, that's the fish that you're talking about that have either slipped through the cracks or didn't quite fit in, or maybe they didn't meet the expectations of that program, and then you can pick them up. They transfer into your school. They have another year of eligibility. What types of things, as you put that net out, what are you looking for? Is it a specific need of the program? Are you looking for size, the athleticism, or because you've got a philosophy, and
Right.
you bringing kids that fit that philosophy. I'm sure you've got schools that say, maybe there's facetiously, maybe there's a University of Wyoming who has a 6'7" kid who, they're not going to retain, or maybe there's a Montana State that has a 6'4" guard. What are you looking for with those Division I transfers to come in to fit your philosophy? Because not every player fits every program. Let's
Right.
be honest.
Right, and we're in a place where we don't take every kid.
Yeah.
And some of them are very good.
Mm-hmm.
To me, we looked into why they're leaving.
Mhm.
We took Neil Monson, who left Utah, came off his mission, redshirted there before he left, came home. They had some guys who were better than him, or bigger than him. And so he fit our program perfectly. Came in, played a year, got recruited all over the country after having
Yeah.
a really good year.
Yeah.
And he's going to go to UC Davis.
Nice.
And so we take kids like that. And a lot of times we're looking at second chance kids.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, there's usually something that went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's either they don't see eye to eye with the coach,
Mm-hmm.
they aren't good enough.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things there, and we kind of go through and try to look at that. And sometimes there's just bad kids, to be honest with you. There's bad kids, and some of those kids are hard to say no to, but I think we've established ourselves in our program well enough that those kids don't fit in what we're doing.
Right.
And there's programs out there that take those kids, and it's like, you're crazy. But but we've done a good job of, I think, at Salt Lake we have a mix.
Mhm.
We have about 5 or 6 Utah kids. We take 5 or 6 kids from all over the country, and we usually have 2 or 3 foreign kids.
Nice.
And so we try to blend those guys together. And when we're looking at those kickback kids, it's okay, why are they leaving? And ideally you want a kid from a Pac-12 school. Hey, he's a big time player, maybe just not good enough.
Yeah.
But we also take kids from lower level schools, from Big Sky schools that, maybe they just didn't fit into that system there, and hopefully they can fit into what we're doing.
Yeah.
And we're pretty structured in what we do, and so
Right.
kids that just want to run up and down usually just don't fit what we're trying to do.
Well, again, I'm going to compliment you because I've, from afar in a distance, I've watched your program. I've seen the growth and development of the program and of your kids. You took a kid from West High School that signed Division I, Tyrell Corbin. Great kid, great family, positive upbringing, good skill set. There's a success story. You've taken Ty's gone on from your program, had some success. Share a little bit about that type of story where, you've got a good kid that, fit well
Right.
and fit with what you were doing, and now you've been able to help him get to a level again where he wanted to be.
No, Ty was a great story, and that team had about 2 or 3 of those kids. But in Ty's experience, he didn't love where he's at. They lost a lot of games. He was actually playing a bunch. It's just when you lose all the time, it gets hard.
Yeah.
And so we'd been watching Ty, to be honest with you, and like, man, hope he leaves, hope he leaves, hope he leaves. And so when he eventually left, we came in and sold him hard on being back home.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was big for him, being around his family.
Yeah.
And he had a great year for us. He averaged about 10 points a game and helped lead our team. We went to the Nationals with that team, and that team was unbelievably talented. We had, what do we have? 6 Division I kids on that team.
Yeah.
And to me, what we sold Ty on is to get your mojo back.
Mhm.
Come here and be really successful, win games, be a big part of that. And I think he was a huge part of that, and that helped him go on the next level. And he actually turned down some higher level schools because now he was a smarter kid and understand, hey, I can go to, I think one of the schools on him was Seton Hall. And Seton Hall's like, we love you, we want you to come, but we got a guy in your spot, you're going to fight for time, you might be the backup.
Yeah.
And then the school he ended up going to said, no, we need you to be the guy. We need you to come in. They recruited him all year. And at the end of the day, he went to a fit that was better for him than just the biggest, highest named school out there.
Well, it's got to make you feel good that you helped pave the path and develop him on and off the court to make better decisions and to give him that swag back in his game, because he had a nice skill set. I saw him become a little bit better shooter. I saw him gain some physical strength. He was quicker off his feet. And those are things that's just going to help him even after the division, where he's playing now, even on into the future, at maybe a professional level somewhere down the line. And it's got to be gratifying for you to know that you've helped assist him in that path.
It is. And those kids, especially those D1 kids, they come in with something's, maybe they're a little sad because they think they've lost it. And unfortunately, we try to sell, hey, junior college is a great basketball And once they leave,
There
they
is.
realize, right, coach, you're right. I mean, in our league, you're playing against Division I guys every
Yeah.
night.
Right.
You know, the other story we have is Cy Tamala was a kid at Michigan, redshirted.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, hey, we like you, but you're not good enough for Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
We got him, came in 4.0 student, and he
Wow.
played a year, got his confidence back, had a great year, and he ended up going to Arizona State. And was
Nice.
playing at Arizona State, and he's actually from Arizona, so it worked out perfectly. They didn't recruit him out of high school. And so it was to help these kids get their swagger back. That's a great, I'm going to have you come in and recruit some of my kids and help sell these guys.
Yeah.
But it really, it makes us feel good because we see how good they can become.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of times it helps these kids be better than they probably would have ever been in a program.
Yeah.
Because as you go through the program, what's hard is you never get that success until you make that pressure shot or
Yeah.
or you kind of force yourself on the scene.
Yeah.
You know, and at our place, you can grow into that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then as you have that success, then that carries to the next level when
Yeah.
you move on.
Well, I mean, let's look at it. In your program, your kids are competing every day. You know, in practices, I've watched some of your practices. You've got them going hard. You got them with discipline. You got them with structure. You got them in the weight room. You got them in study tables. You know, making them get it done in the classroom as well. And it's refreshing to me because, you know, several years ago, back when I had a lot more hair, I coached at the junior college level, and people don't understand that there's great basketball nationwide at the JUCO level. I mean, you guys are in a competitive region. There's good basketball. These players can come in and be well coached, get a great associate's degree. I'm sure qualified. Some kids are not qualified, but you help them along that path with their development, and it's fun to watch these kids develop under you, and that's why you've had the success that you've had.
Well, thank you. No, and it is a lot of fun. I mean, our benefit that we have here is we have kids at all levels. I
Yeah.
mean, we have kids that are Pac-12 ready.
Mhm.
I mean, Gary Payton II's going to
Yeah.
Oregon State.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the most talented athletic guard that I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then we have kids who aren't recruited Division I and then finally get it. You know, Jaden Jackson just committed to Utah Valley today, and he didn't have anybody on him Division I out of high school. Came and had 2 great years for us. You know, and then he had like multiple offers, and he's a Utah boy and wants to stay home, and so
Gotta
it
love
was
it.
great. It was great. for him.
Nice, great success stories. Let's switch gears a little bit. It's not really an off season, but it's summertime now. AAU basketball, UBC club was put together. Utah Basketball Club. You're coaching the 17Us. What advice? Because I think it's awesome that you get to work with the youth and help these kids again as they're high schoolers. You're allowing them to showcase and test their skill sets against bigger, faster, stronger kids nationally,
Right.
which obviously gives them a measuring stick. They use it to gain confidence as they come back to their high schools because you're playing higher level kids than what they're getting to play against at the Big Mountain Jam or, you know, just here locally because they see the same faces all the time. What are some of the fun experiences that you've had? Because you were with the Pump and Run program and did a great job. I actually got to coach against you last year, and your kids were, I mean, gosh, you guys had your system. You had your pick and rolls up top. You guys had good spacing, and it was fun to watch those kids that, like you say, they bought in, they played hard, and you guys had success with that, and you continue to have success with it. And I'm glad to see the families get behind and support you guys and what you're doing, but what is mainly your mission with the UBC program and how you're working with these kids and families? Because the families are an important part
Right.
of AAU basketball. Can I speak on that for a second, if you would, Coach?
Yeah, and you asked like multiple questions, it's good, but it's good. I think the one thing that I try to bring to it is, as a college coach, is I'm like, hey, here's realistically what's going on. Because you get a letter, because some coach said, hey, I like you, doesn't mean you're being recruited. And even those top kids who are being recruited, you're so far from playing at that level, you've got to figure it out and get better.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of what we do is, like a lot of the programs here is we try to teach the kids as we have them play. You know, and the big thing out there is I hear it all the time, oh, this AAU stuff's terrible, this is that. I think in Utah it's furthest from the truth. I think it's incredible for the kids. I think they get good coaching, they get to play against really good talented kids, and they get to see what it's really like out there. You know, and the college level is no joke.
Right.
You know, it's the top of the top. I mean, I tell my kids all the time, it's like everybody on my team, and I'm junior college, is all state.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everyone at Utah is all state. Everyone at Utah Valley is all state.
Mm-hmm.
It's what do you do after that? What kind of player do you become? And so we really focus a lot on that. And some of these parents, to be honest, need to be educated. You know, their
amen.
kid's really good in junior jazz or as a 6th grader, and they think, okay, he's gonna be a college-bound kid.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, so much of what dictates college is how tall you are, how fast you are, how long you are. Those are big steps. You know, and if you're 6 foot, you're in trouble
Yeah.
because there's a million of them.
Yeah.
You know,
Ooh, amen. Amen.
you know the interesting story, and I'm getting way off topic, but
No.
I have a new assistant I just hired, and he's working for me, Chris Burgess.
Nice.
He's been up at Utah, and now he's helping us.
Mhm.
He went to the Oklahoma City game the other night, stood next to our boy Kevin Durant.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris, and the people don't know him, he's 6'11", played at Duke, played at Utah. He's a monster. I mean, he's
Yeah.
so big. And he said, I stood next to Kevin Durant, and he's about a half inch taller than me.
Yeah.
And here's Kevin Durant playing the 2 guard, is 7-footer, running, jumping, doing all this stuff. And I'm like, it is just crazy.
Yeah.
And it transfers to the college game as well. These kids are big, they're long, they're athletic.
Mm-hmm.
And to try to help put in perspective for these parents. Not all these kids are going to be college-bound kids,
Mm-hmm.
but by playing in the AAU in the summer, they do gain confidence. They become really good high school players.
Yeah.
You know, and that's partly to me what it's about. Is to be as good at where you're at and enjoy it. Have a good experience.
There
And I
you
think
go.
you related earlier some of the fun experiences you guys had. That's what I like about it. It's new, fresh kids. I get to talk some more to them, and we have fun experiences.
There you go. You know what? I think it's great because to me, it's all a part of the process. And I like the fact that, I've gotten to know you a little bit. You're in it for the right reasons. You're not in it to try to pad your resume. You're not in it to boost yourself. You're in it to truly develop these kids as players and people on and off the court. And I think you do a fantastic job and love the success. And congratulations on all the success that you've had at Salt Lake Community College. I see nothing but positive things happening for the Bruins out there as long as you stay there. So, continue that work. What types of things, what nugget would you leave with a parent right now who has a kid that wanting to come into AAU? Because let's be honest, sometimes a reality check is important for the player, but it's also as important in building awareness to the parents. What message would you share with parents who are out there watching who maybe thinks and have heard bad things about AAU basketball? Where could you put everything into proper perspective for them?
I think you got to enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, if you're in it because I'm trying to get a college scholarship, we're putting money into it for that. You're not going to get your money out of it.
Like,
You've got to go into it as a way to build the kid as a player, to get better. And if they're not having fun,
oh,
my old coach said, if you're not having fun playing basketball, go golf because it's individual. You can do it on your own. And so find a program where they have fun and enjoy it, and they're getting better. You know, because at the end of the day, if it's all just about trying to get a college scholarship, I tell my kids, it's like, you know what? College is a business. High school is where it's really fun.
Yeah.
High school is fun. You're with your buddies.
Yeah.
When you go to college, you develop friendships, but they're not your buddies.
Yeah.
They're all trying to take your spot.
yeah, yeah. It's
And
competitive.
so you've got to enjoy it. And if you're not enjoying it, you know, and then we get parents at times that aren't enjoying it. They're just crazy. It's like you're wearing yourself out.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
yeah.
And so
Which
I tell them
again,
to find that.
that puts pressure on the kids, and then the kids don't enjoy the experience because maybe they're not meeting the parents' expectations, and the next thing you know, you've got some disillusioned families that, like you say, need to know exactly what it's about,
Right.
why they're in it, why they need to choose it, why they need to choose your program, and you do a great job with it. Our poll question tonight was, and maybe you don't get to watch a whole lot of the, some of the other college teams, but, you've got Jabari Parker, Andrew Wiggins, Dante Exum from Australia, Julius Randle from Kentucky, Aaron Gordon at Arizona. Who do you think will probably be the number one pick in the NBA draft? Now, tomorrow is the draft lottery.
Right.
This is where the teams find out who's going to get the number one pick. Of course, it could come down to teams' needs. It could come down to a skill set at a certain position because maybe they've already got a center. But if you were going on skill set alone of what you've seen from college basketball, who do you think has the most tools and versatility, or what do you like that you saw for an NBA draft?
Well, I don't want him to go first, but no question, Jabari Parker.
Yeah.
I mean, I think locally we like him. I've watched him a lot. He's fun. He's just skilled and ready to go. I think he's the most skilled of all those guys. I don't want him to go one because I want our Jazz to get in. But,
Yeah.
but I think he's the real deal.
I do too.
People might put unreal expectations on him, but I think he'll be one of the top 5 players in the game. At that time. Now, is he elite of elite? Is he Kevin Durant? No.
Yeah.
Not
yet.
I think he's more like a Melo, but maybe more of a team guy,
Mm-hmm.
and can do some things. And I really like him. And I think he's the number one guy.
See, you and I are on the same page with that. I think his body is big, more like a LeBron, where he can take some physicality, he can take a hit. I think Andrew Wiggins is a little bit thin right now, where he has more of a body frame of a Kevin Durant. But when you look at the versatility of Parker, gosh, he's got a lot of tools. I mean,
Got a ton of tools.
he can finish at the basket. He can step out and hit jumpers. He's actually very creative and unselfish. So I think you and I see the same things in that young man, and the fact that he's Mormon. Maybe the Jazz trade up to get it, or maybe the ping pong balls fall in their favor, which lets Dennis Lindsey kind of have some fun with it. And Jerry Sloan's probably in his ear, hey, we like this kid. But there's some talent out there. But again, it is a process. It is a business. The teams are going to get what they need for their franchise, but you got to be excited about 2 or 3 of those names.
I think you do, and I think the Jazz are in a good spot.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's a fun time of year for us as Jazz fans to see where they go. I try to get the Nuggets because on our UBC team we got Jake Lindsey.
Yeah.
So I try to get the Nuggets, but
He can play.
He
I like
can really
him.
play.
I like him.
But Dennis is tight-lipped, and I see these tweets out there. People think they know what's going on. I'm like,
Yeah.
they don't. Dennis doesn't give anything out.
Yeah.
And so he does a really good job with what he's doing, and they'll get a good coach and they'll have a good pick. In the
No
draft.
doubt. Matter of fact, they were at the draft combine in Chicago last week, and they actually interviewed Dennis, and they were like, "Oh, so you're coaching." He was, like you said, he was professional. He sidestepped the question. He put it back on the combine, and I like that he handled it that way. I mean,
Right.
he learned a lot of great things from R.C. Buford and that San Antonio franchise that he's going to slowly start implementing and putting the pieces together the way he wants to fit this franchise. So they're going to have to. But I was able to watch his son. I think he's got a chance. He's got a little bit of a future there. He's got a
does.
skill set.
He's kind of a kid that's blown up. I mean, he's a 6'5", big, strong kid.
Yeah.
Played really good in the early viewing period. Just tough as nails. People love that about him, and so he's been good. He's gonna be a Pac-12 type of kid.
I believe that. So with your UBC team, what's the next tournament for you guys? As you guys as a program, where are you going to go? How long do you have to prepare for it? What types of things can the fans of UBC look forward to? With those families and kids.
Well, what we try to do is obviously we have the early viewing period when college coaches can be out. We shut down in June. I mean, that's their high school. They need to get with their high school. Some of these kids think, oh, I'm going to do AAU. It's better. I don't believe in that. They need to be with their high school coaches. They need to be with their teams. So all of June they do camps with their coaches and their high school stuff, and then we get back together towards the end of the month. A lot of times when you play in the Big Mountain Jam, just kind of it's fun. It kind of actually gets us out
Close.
to practice.
That's right.
And so we use that as some practice time. And then July there's 3 viewing periods in July where college coaches can be out, and so we'll be out in all 3 of those. We'll be in Vegas, I think LA once and Vegas twice.
Nice.
And we're trying to cut it down a little bit so we're not gone 15 days, but the viewing periods are 5 days for 3 weeks in a row in July.
Well, and the exposure that they're going to get from that is unprecedented. They're not going to get that from their high school teams. I know there's some coaches that are a little sensitive and they don't like the AAU coaching, but it truly is an asset, especially when it's done by people like yourself who are doing it the right way. I highly encourage these players and these families to get in touch with you. If they have some interest in AAU basketball, there's a lot of programs that are out there, but you guys are doing it the right way. I believe in it. I was kind of around you guys earlier in the year, and I'm just promoting to all those people that have a chance to play with you, your coaches that you're working with, and they're going to grow as people, and that's the most important thing.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. No, you said way too many nice things about me today.
No, we're speaking the truth here. Do you have any last nuggets that you want to share with the viewers? Let me ask you this: how can people get a hold of you? I know you probably do some social media stuff, Facebook, Twitter, but what's the best way for a prospective athlete who may be watching this? Maybe there's a kid out in Missouri, or maybe there's a kid in Florida that has a great skill set that's kind of slipped through the cracks. And if he's interested in Salt Lake Community College, how can he reach national championship coach Todd Phillips?
Well, I think the easiest thing that's out there now is sending a video through email. I mean, phone calls help, but really my emails and videos, I can't help but click on a video. I mean, you're just hooked on that stuff. And even if it's like, I get a lot of those, but I just have to click and watch the kid a little bit. The funny thing is we get kids to send stuff. They don't give us any information about them. They don't know how tall they are,
what number they are, the jersey.
And so and they won't send a clip, and so then it's like, okay, so what are we supposed to do? You're just telling me you're good enough, And so a short video, people ask about, is it highlights, game film? I like highlights because I don't have time to sit down and watch every single game. Then once I see some highlights and a kid intrigues me, then I'll say, hey, send me some game tape. Nice. But that's an easy way to get a hold of me or anybody on my coaching staff through slcc.edu.
Okay.
And you just go on there and click under our athletic webpage, and you can send it to any of the coaches. and we do a lot of video scouting. This is really what we do. That's probably the best way.
Okay.
You know, we've had a lot of kids calling us, but then again, it's okay. Now send us a video. Now do this. You get a video in front of us. And it gets us a
Expedite
chance
that
to-
process. Get a video
Exactly.
link on there. You guys can click it and watch it. If you like it, you're going to follow up with it.
Right.
Well, I
Exactly.
highly encourage any person who has an interest. Give Coach Phillips a contact here and send him that video link. If he believes in you and he knows you can play, he's definitely going to extend himself and make sure you are treated like family and well taken care of. You'll go through that whole process with them. Again, gosh, you've done a great job, and I know nothing but the best is going to continue to happen for the Bruins.
Thank you very much.
Well, good luck to you in the future. And all you fans of UBC basketball, make sure you're going out there in Vegas supporting these guys. There's some great kids and some good, talented players that can play at the next level. Again, it's not for everybody, but there's a handful of kids that are going to go on and continue their careers. Working with Coach Phillips is definitely going to help put you on that path. We're going to take a short break here, and we're going to come back with a few little wrap-ups, but we're going to send Coach on his way because he's going to go out and probably spend some family time and probably continue to hit that recruiting trail. So we'll see you here after we pay the bills. Todd, thanks again, buddy.
You bet. Thank you.
All right. We are back live with the Coach Scott Field Show. Bob, what a great guest lineup we had once again tonight.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
Great job.
my buddy Larry Fox, who again, I said, I bet he doesn't even remember the story back in '92 when I'm out at Chaminade. And he's like, oh my gosh, really, was it that long ago? But, to hear his insights and, his philosophies, I thought was outstanding insight. And, some of the hard work that these agents do for some of these players. We had Anthony Tolliver on here a couple weeks ago,
Yep.
and, Larry kind of shared his journey and, the years in the D League. He was undrafted at Creighton, played overseas, comes back, now has been in the league for 5 years. And what a class act Larry was for coming on and being a part of the show with us. And he left some great nuggets with the viewers that, like he said, a person has got to believe in themselves and be true to themselves and continue to work hard and persevere. And I really appreciate Larry coming on and sharing that with us. And then, Matt Conway comes in, Pleasant Grove, moved here from Arizona. His dad played up at Utah State. I got to work with him last year, had some great experiences, getting ready to go on his mission to Argentina.
Yeah.
How fun is that going to be, huh? A little habla español for him, huh?
See.
Yeah. So he's gonna be a Wolverine down at UVU. Great kid, class act, quality family, and then national championship coach Todd Phillips right here from Salt Lake Community College.
Good stuff.
Great guy who does a great job with the program, and of course runs the AAU program out there with UBC, Utah Basketball Club. They used to actually be pump and run, and then a couple teams combined their forces. It was pump and run and the old dream vision of Thurl Bailey's, which united and became UBC, and he does a great job out there.
Yep.
Again, we had our poll question night. Who we think will go number 1 in the NBA draft. Larry Fox kind of chimed in on it. Todd chimed in on it. I shared my perspective. I really like Jabari Parker. I think he brings a lot of skills to the table. That his body of work for his freshman year, he's so young. To say a body of work is probably an exaggeration, but he has a physical body to him that he's broad, he's big, he can absorb a hit, he's physically strong. I think a lot of these kids are really, really good, but I think for fans, let's be honest, the expectations for these guys to come in and be, an NBA All-Star or an NBA MVP, it's not going to happen the first year, Bob.
Oh, no.
It takes a couple years of growth and development. I mean, Kevin Durant now being an NBA MVP, it took him years of development to get to that level. LeBron James comes out of high school, didn't even play college basketball. You got these one-and-done kids that played the Kentuckys, and, you look at a McDermott who played at Creighton, just like Anthony Tolliver did, a small mid-major school, play us all 4 years. I think NBA general managers look at that 4 years of college because they're physically mature, they're mentally more mature. I feel they're more ready and prepared for an 82-game season than what a kid who's only 19 years old, coming out of high school or 1 year of college. Do you go with skill? And there's, you're saying, well, there's potential. Well, to me, potential at the NBA level, you either can or you can't.
Right. I agree. And the other thing I was thinking, a kid that sticks with his college program has proven one thing: he can finish something that he starts.
I like that.
And I do too. And I think that's a key thing. These young guys coming in, they get thrown all that money and all that fame and glory, and they don't realize how hard they're going to have to work.
It's a job. It is a job. I mean, they're going to be monitored. These teams, these general managers, their scouting crews, they do their due diligence. I mean, they're picking up the phones. They're talking to coaches. They're talking to opposing coaches. They're doing background checks. They're looking at stuff that these kids are posting on social media. All those things are contributing factors to being an important piece of a franchise's future. And I think us as fans, we need to kind of slow down and not say, oh my gosh, we're bringing in this guy. He's the savior. Give them a couple years to see where they're going to be. Let's be realistic. I think we jumped the gun because of this microwave society we're in. And you're seeing these coaches getting fired because, again, maybe the coaches didn't meet expectations or the players didn't meet expectations. Then there's finger pointing, then it's the coach's fault. Let's slow down and let people develop and let the maturation process take its effect.
Yeah, and you've made a point week after week and time after time of, to succeed at the next level, you've got to dominate the level you're at.
Amen.
And listening to some of the players like Anthony Tolliver and Terry Porter and those guys, that transition for them wasn't an easy one.
Right. That's right.
And these are guys who are bread and butter guys that you can work with, and they have great work ethic and they have great talent, they have great size. But even they admit just how hard it is to make that transition from a Division I or any college program
Right.
to the NBA. It's a leap.
It's a huge, huge jump. People don't understand the physicality and the strength that it takes to go from high school to college. And then all of a sudden you go from college to going against men. Now, that's tough. Now, back in the 80s, when you were coming in against the Lambeers and the Rick Mahorns and the Charles Barkleys, when you came into that paint, they were going to let you know,
Yep.
hey, this is not college anymore. Now, some rules have changed that, but still, it is a grown man game. And I think Mark Jackson always said it better. This is a grown man's game.
Yep.
It's an 82-game grind, city for city, 42 games at home. 41 at home, 41 on the road, 82 games. Then you got your NBA playoff season. That is stressful on the body.
Oh, absolutely.
You've got to take care of yourself because your body is the asset, and how you maintain your body is going to give you the longevity in your career.
Yep.
And these kids who are look at Kobe Bryant. Came out of high school. Now he's got a ruptured Achilles. He really never took summers off. If he wasn't playing for the Lakers, he was now playing for the Dream Teams or the Team USAs and these qualification tournaments. There's no downtime for these guys. They've got to take care of their bodies and rest their bodies to be ready for another 100-game season, to get into those playoffs.
Yep,
That
absolutely.
wear and tear. Larry Bird did in his career, he couldn't even move because his back is you see these guys, Shaquille O'Neal, you carry around 320 plus pounds on those feet, 82 games, the regular season, that pounding is going to take its toll.
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
guys have to be ready for that physically, So anyway, just thought I would share that stuff with you. But Bob, you and I were talking before the show, and we've talked about things that we believe in our mission statements. And you brought up a point that several shows ago I kind of left a little wrap up kind of session, and we talked about the cream rising to the top. About character and reputation and enthusiasm and attitude and mental toughness. Tonight, kind of to wrap up the show, I thought we'd kind of have a theme, and I'm a firm believer that we as people, or whatever walk of life we're in, we're only as good as the people we surround ourselves with. If you're a jerk, you're probably hanging out with jerk kind of people. If you are a quality person, you're going to want to try to hang out with quality people to surround yourself in an environment that is going to be healthy for you to make healthy choices, professionally. We've talked about Donald Sterling the last few weeks. You got to think about the people he surrounded himself with and who's holding him accountable. And I do truly believe that we are only as good as the people we surround ourselves with. On this show, we've had quality people every week come onto this show who share their journeys and share their experiences, and supplying content to young viewers, young coaches. But again, it's for all walk of life. I'm a firm believer that, if you want to be a successful person, you better choose a quality person for your significant other and spouse. Too many times, I've heard guys say, your woman beside you is going to be a strength, or the woman behind. Why does your woman have to be behind you? The woman should be beside you.
Yep.
50-50. It is a relationship. And some of the most important choices young men are going to make in their lives are who are going to be their significant others. They can be successful by the choice of the person that they commit to and live their life experiences with. And I think sometimes now these young kids are so quick to rush into relationships that they may not even have things in common. They may not even have the same spiritual beliefs. They may not have the same, morals or values to pass on to the next generation. And choosing a quality spouse, to me, can help you with choices that you're going to make the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And I'm challenging people to make good choices. Surround themselves with good people. Choose a great spouse. If you're a young basketball player, there's a reason why 500 kids are transferring from Division I schools. They're rushing into those decisions because maybe they're trying to meet the expectations of somebody else. Make the choice that best fits you and your needs.
Yep.
As a person, an individual, go with a coach who's going to help you develop and grow as a person, more importantly, than as a player. your playing career is only going to last you so long.
Right.
Make a choice of an institution of what you want to choose as your discipline for life. Your path has been in the fire department. You are a fire marshal, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep.
And you have put your life invested into that and a quality service that I don't think gets recognized enough or paid well enough and compensated well enough for the sacrifices that you make for people to help them in time of need. That to me, those are heroes. You look at 9/11, you look at the people who are going in and running to a tragedy instead of running from a tragedy to help and assist others. Bob, that's your heroes. It's not the players putting on a jersey, trying to market the next soft drink or the fastest car on the road. It's those teachers in your high schools. That should be your role model. Your mom and dad should be your role models.
Yep.
And the people that you look up to and the people that we count on the most. I think kids in this day and age of social media are looking at these rappers that are singing songs and messages about all the wrong things. I don't mean to go off and be on a pedestal here, but again, we have to surround ourselves with quality people and quality individuals. It's hard for an eagle to be an eagle if he's in a flock of turkeys.
Yep.
How can that eagle take flight and be bold and regal and do what you do when you're hanging out with a flock of turkeys?
Yep.
That eagle's going to lose confidence in himself and think, oh, I'm just a turkey just like you guys.
Yeah.
Now, it's just an analogy, but to me, there's something to that. If you're going to be an eagle, surround yourself with other eagles that are going to teach that eagle how to be regal, how to be
Right.
majestic, how to be powerful. Maybe hanging out with too many of them turkeys is why maybe they're almost extinct. And it's crazy.
Yeah. No, I understand.
But I'm just trying
yeah.
to make analogies that maybe people can learn and understand from with the message that we're trying to send.
Yeah, absolutely.
Surround yourself with quality. I mean, what do you think? What's your opinion?
Yeah, I think if we could live our lives in such a way
Yeah.
that we could fulfill the measure of our potential of what we were created for,
Amen.
what a great thing that would be. If we could remember virtue, if we could remember honesty, if we could remember just those simple virtues that are pure and undefiled. What a great, you just think about what a great place it would be.
Love hearing you say that because look at, we heard an agent a few weeks ago talk about loyalty. Loyalty is gone. Too many people in society jump ship to go where they think the grass is always greener.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer that once you make a decision and you make a commitment, you stick to that commitment. You honor that commitment and you stay loyal to that commitment. The grass isn't always greener on the other side. If you stay home and fertilize, you can have the greenest grass of all. Stay home, nurture it, take care of it, you will have green grass.
Yep.
Sometimes, there may be green grass over there, but maybe there's chemicals on that green grass, and it's always not so good. It may look good for a second, but when you analyze it and look into it a little further, be detailed and say, I'm going to make this decision for me because it's best for me and my family and everyone around me.
Yep.
Instead of saying, oh, me, I, and next thing you know, you're not surrounding yourself with good people. Again, let's go back to it. Who is holding Donald Sterling accountable? Is he just paying off everybody around him and they're just going to agree with him? Who's going to stand up to Donald Sterling and say, Donald, you were wrong?
Yep.
I don't agree with what you were doing. It's not right. Your beliefs aren't right. I'm not going to support that. I would love to hear a story where a guy backs away from that and says, I'm not going to condone that. I'm not going to support that. I'm going to go over here and put my time and my energy and my focus into this venture because this is something I stand for and this is something that I believe in.
Yep. Or conversely, you have the Donald Sterling. If because I think society and as a general, a lot of people have said that we're through with Donald Sterling.
Yeah.
And how refreshing would it be if he were to come forward with a humble heart and say,
I need help.
I need help.
Please
it's
help me.
beyond me, and
I've made a mistake.
Yep. Rather than I've made a mistake, but
Yeah. how many
Magic Johnson has AIDS.
how many
You know.
how many athletes, Bob, in the last few years, and ESPN documented them. You hear these guys, baseball players who have taken steroids, but they won't admit that they've done it. They're
Yep.
going to deny it till they die. They go out and buy the best lawyers who go out and try to find these loopholes. You know what? I can't wait for someone to say, you know what? I made a mistake. I hold myself accountable. I apologize to my family. I apologize to my fans. I'm sorry. I've done wrong. I need help.
Yep, and have it be more than just a post.
Exactly.
You know, have
Now,
it
come on.
come from the heart.
Lance Armstrong, finding out now all these years, you know, the Live Strong, the campaign, loved the whole message. Loved the
yeah,
Live Strong.
absolutely.
The whole thing, battling cancer, the perseverance. I'm more apt to buy into a guy who's going to say, I'm sorry. For years, I've deceived you. For years, I let you down. I let myself down. I am looking forward to that day where these people that we put on pedestals and that we call role models will hold themselves accountable and surround themselves with positive people who are going to keep them grounded, keep them humble, and then we're going to move forward
Yep.
as a people and as a society and as a community.
You know, and just a couple of things from my point of view.
Please.
A great man once said, "You're only in the service of when you're in service of your fellow man, you're in the service of your God."
Love it.
And there's a Quaker statement from the early foundings of our country,
Uh-huh.
where one of the pilgrims or one of the Quaker people that were here said, "Thee lift me, and I'll lift thee, and we'll ascend together."
Love it.
You know, and to me, that's what it's all about. You know, you talked about there's such a me.
Yeah.
And I found in my life when I stop thinking about me, which is hard to do,
Yeah.
and think about someone else, I just find everything else seems to be better. No matter how crummy the day is or what the bad circumstances are,
Yeah.
you can feel good about things.
Isn't it gratifying to know that when you take the emphasis off of you, and of course, it's like the disease of me, and you put it towards we, that you feel so much better to lend a hand in hand, to help someone else maybe live their dream or give them the guidance and support that they need and a little push and maybe a little gas to their fire and watch them grow and develop. There's no better feeling in the world than helping somebody else.
No,
There's
none-
truly not.
none whatsoever.
And you know, Bob, I'm gonna sit here and say it. It's been an honor being able to work with you on this project out here out of Brave Haven Studios because again, you're selfless. You put in so many hours, not making a dime for it, and money out of your own pocket, just out of a passion. And you know, you and I kind of share the same vision and dream, and it's fun working with you because I'm amazed every week that I come in here that there's something that you've done that has made my job easier here, the dancing monkey in front of the camera, to bring a show to the people that, I mean, this studio looks first class. To surround myself with you every week to come in here on a Monday, even though we may have had crazy busy weekends, unbelievable work weeks, but we get to come in here for a few hours and share and be a part of something that matters to you and I. And it's fun working with you because to me, you know, if I could surround myself with 200 Bobs, I'm going to be more fortunate and grow from that. And I appreciate you for that, buddy.
Well, I appreciate those kind words, and it's right back at you. I feel exactly the same way. It's a privilege to be able to just spend a little bit of time with you.
Well, like I'm saying, we're only as good as the people we surround ourselves with. I get to be with Bob Fitzgerald, with Brave Haven Media, right here at bravehaven.com, and bring this show. And this right here, to me, is what it's all about.
Yep.
And I can't wait to continue to grow the show, to have sponsors come in, to be a part of this message, to help young kids who are maybe, you know, in high school or college, you know, looking to supplement their income, to be a part of the Coach Scott Field Show, to go out and help us with the marketing and the brand. I'm excited to help someone kind of grow in the sports industry, you know, through this vehicle.
Yeah,
and
exactly
you know, we've
right.
got those opportunities for these people. And if you're out there watching this show and you want to be surrounded by quality people, got to speak for Bob because I've got a long way to go, but I'm trying. But I love this show. I love working with you every week on it, and we got some exciting things that are coming up. Please follow us at bravehaven.com. Get on there, CoachScottFields.com. Follow us on Twitter, Scott_Fields. Bob, your Twitter handle is
This
again
is just at Bravehaven.
at Bravehaven Twitter.
Yep.
So please get on there and follow us. We're going to continue to work hard all throughout the week to bring you a quality product with great guests. We're going to kind of shorten the show a little bit, condense it. We know we've made some long shows, but we're going to kind of change the format here a little bit to make it more conducive and more viewer friendly. And we're going to make it our goal to continue to bring you something great. And next week is the weekend. We won't be here with our show next week. And with that said, my mom and dad's anniversary is the 28th. Unfortunately, we won't have the show to wish them a happy anniversary. So if you're watching the show here or you watch it later archive, Bud and Diane, thank you for being great role models for me and teaching me all the things that I needed, to be a good person and be a quality husband and hopefully be a good role model for the youth and for the teams that I coach. I appreciate you for that. So happy anniversary on the 28th to my family out there in Indiana. Love you, miss you, and hope to cross paths with you here real soon. But happy anniversary to my family.
Yep.
Coming up to this next week. But anyway, we're going to take a week off and we're going to come back. We're going to keep our ducks in a row. We're going to continue to grow the program, and we're going to come back with an exciting lineup for you, the viewers. Thanks to our viewers. We picked up a couple countries. We had Holland and Finland who came on.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah, so those are some positive things. Hopefully our viewership's going to continue. We do have a donation tag,
Right.
there on CoachScottFields.com to donate some funds to us. If you like what you see, you want to support what you see, we greatly and humbly appreciate that. And again, we've got sponsorship packages we can put together.
Yep.
Bob, I'll let you speak on that again here real quick before we wrap up.
If you would like to sponsor the Coach Scott Fields in its entirety, or just a segment, or just as a mentioned sponsor, sponsor spots start at about $20 and go up from there. And the sky's the limit. We can produce commercials for your company that you can not only use here, but you can use elsewhere. We can help promote your business through coupons and referrals to drive our viewership to you. That would be our ultimate goal. We don't just want the money for us. We want the money so that we can help grow.
Right.
That's part of the grow that is in our.
And I'm glad you said that. and
empower,
you shared it
educate,
that
and
way.
grow. It's not just grow the show, which is one thing we'd like to do because we'd like to continue to be able to bring this to you.
Yeah.
But we want to help grow the community.
Yeah.
A strong community helps everything else work well.
Amen to that. Amen to that. And with that said, let's give a quick shout out again to our sponsors. Again, Bravehaven Studios right here in Salt Lake City. Bravehaven Media, bravehaven.com. You can reach Coach. Oh, God, I called you Coach because
Coach.
you're kind of coaching me through this to make me a better host.
Coaching the coach.
There you go. You can reach Bob at 801-738-8697. MetLife, Nick Fitzgerald, your financial advisor. Please get a hold of Nick. So let him help guide you to financial freedom. With setting up a financial package that's going to be conducive for you. Get a hold of Nick at 801-999-3773. Salon Dante, Kim Fields. For quality haircuts and extensions, cuts, colors, highlights, you name it, she'll get you right. Salon Dante, 94 South, 7th East, 801-572-8812. And thanks again to TeamJMP.com. That's John Matson with his strength and conditioning program right here in the Salt Lake Valley. Give John a look at TeamJMP.com as he helps support us in what we're doing. And again, my son's been working with him and he's starting to fill out. So awful thrilled with the stuff that John does up there. So again, teamjmp.com. Give him a shout, give him a look at, and let him get you bigger, faster, stronger to help you with your athletic endeavors. We appreciate your time tonight. I know there's 1,000 other places you could have been. I know the San Antonio Spurs and Oklahoma City game is going on right now. Matter of fact, the game just ended. San Antonio Spurs win at 122-105 over Oklahoma City. So
Go Spurs.
Western Conference, San Antonio up 1-0 on Oklahoma City. You got your Eastern Conference Finals. Indiana beat Miami. Indiana's up 1-0. It's a 7-game series. It's going to be fun and exciting. Tomorrow night, the draft lottery. Where will those ping pong balls fall? You've got some exciting players.
Got my fingers crossed.
Hey, Jazz. Right now, the Jazz are at the number 4 pick at a 10.4% chance of getting that number 1 pick. Milwaukee number 1, 25%. Philadelphia number 2 at 19%. Orlando number 3 at 15.6%. Utah number 4 at 10.4%. Maybe they'll go up a little higher. Maybe they'll get a Jabari Parker.
Yeah, that way. Yeah,
Put on that Jazz uniform.
That would be awesome.
Could you imagine Jabari Parker gets picked? You pick up a shooter like a Jimmer Fredette from BYU. Ooh, we
Talking
ticket
about
sales.
local connections.
Wow. Get these guys in here on the
Yeah.
show.
Oh, that'd
Woo.
be fun.
Oh.
That would be fun.
I
That would
think
be
the
awesome.
fans would be excited, and the young team's this is gonna happen. Dennis Lindsey's gonna do a good job. Kevin O'Connor's still out there. Jerry Sloan is now putting in his input. So common sense has not left the building. You know, we wish Tyrone Corbin all the best. You know, with his next venture, they're gonna be naming a coach here, hopefully real soon. It's gonna be exciting to see who they pick.
Yeah.
New coach. Some new players, some new energy, new excitement, new love for the Utah Jazz fans, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Looking for it. Can only go better.
Oh, hey, when you're down here, there's nowhere to go but
That's
up. There's
right.
that positive mentality right
That's
there.
right. That's
Hey,
right.
thank you so much for taking time from your busy schedule to watch us right here on the Coach Scott Field Show. We wish you a blessed week. Thank you for tuning in. We will not be here next Monday, but the following Monday. I don't have a calendar here in front of me, but we'll see you in 2 weeks right here on Monday night from Brave Haven Studios with the Coach Scott Field Show with quality content and great guest lineup for you. Thank you for your time. God bless. We'll see you soon.